No, the small family business.
Bye.
For the steel seal.
Yeah.
Minuscule mortals.
The only one saying it.
It's semantic.
Let's go. Let's go, guys. Let's go.
We're gone. We're surely going.
My friend, please make your way to the prep room.
Easy going.
Go.
Down here. Make sure I'm halfway down, and I'm in the middle.
Hi, hello there. It's a Tuesday. It is. Hi.
What's up?
Oh no, I'm misaligned. A cardinal sin. Was it here I'm supposed to stand? Or on this
In
side?
your spot.
Goodness gracious.
Over there.
Oh no.
You Wally? No, you're in my spot. Over here.
Oh, whoops.
There we go.
Got my fractals and vertices confused.
That looks correct.
Okay, are we ready?
What's a fractal? What's a vertex?
Yes.
Fractal is a four-dimensional object. Like, 2D four-dimensional.
10,
Is the same no matter how much you
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.9, 0.8, 0.7, 0.6, 0.5, 0.4, 0.3, 0.2. I'm buying time for equalization. 0.1.
Oh yeah.
0. It seems you've met with an uncertain fate. You find yourself at an interdimensional crossroads, a rendezvous of travelers between worlds. My name is Treijim, and we are VRTravellers. We create immersive, story-based tours with original writing, beautiful worlds, voice acting, and wholesome team effort. Welcome to the rendezvous, our point of contact to narrative domains. You and sound the way I usually do here. Perhaps I sound less grave, more alive, less monotonous, more politinous, less Treijim, more Josh Jim. My friends, tonight's event is special. It's different. Tonight, there is no tour in the traditional sense. You may have heard the news. I am retiring from performing. My last tour was last week. Tonight's event is my grand finale. Tonight, I am going to tell you everything I had planned for the tour that I announced and then sadly cancelled. I suppose this is my way of trying to make it up to all of you, of showing you that, despite pouring my heart and soul into a narrative, not everything we begin finds completion. And that can be bittersweet. and that's okay. My friends, tonight I'll be out of character, taking all of you to a different world, where I'll be sharing you the unfinished script, the quest ideas, the potential endings, the puzzles, and the music that would have altogether made up The Waiter. And unlike our usual tours, this will be a bit more conversational. I do encourage you to ask questions as we go, while being conscious of anyone who's recording, of course, and I especially encourage you to ask questions if you're interested in telling your own narrative adventures. As always, you're welcome to stream or record tonight's event. My friends, please at this time make sure you are friends with someone else here, in case you disconnect and need to send an invite request back. You're welcome to add us, your tour guides, Sheen, Pimonik, Pop123, and Rindizo, as friends. We will accept. And now, my friends, without further ado, I'm going to take a moment to hide avatars. My apologies, I need all the frames I can get.
Understandable. Welcome to VR chat.
Welcome to the internet. Alright, US East, invite plus. Please do not enter the portal until I give the signal, in case it despawns. Even though that hasn't happened in a year, old habits die hard.
Disabling avatars. Fishing for frames.
My friends, first.
True.
Yep.
Damn it. Pack lover.
Yeah.
My friend, my beautiful friend. Would you like to reload the world? I need to get master. Thank you.
Fuck my man with the speedy internet.
Thanks, Pack.
Oh, I just
Be back.
I hit respawn instead of reload, huh?
No respawn. Rejoin. I need master. I will recycle all of you. for master.
Rejoin, not respawn.
Dusty Kushami. Dusty.
That means I'm probably next. Oh no.
I'm sorry, could you please reload the instance rejoin? I need master. Yes, please. Just reload the world.
Do you know how to do
Hit
that?
the rejoin button.
You join. You get
No, I think it's the order that they...
rendezvous.
It is the order. If we reload it forward.
Go to world.
Current world. Rejoin.
Oh.
We'll come right back here.
It's fine.
Glad you're here, Tom.
Yep, rejoin the current world. Ether Memento, good lord.
I called it. I fucking called it.
I tried to race you guys in.
Behind you.
Sumo Cow.
You even were so smug with the first and then proceeded.
This is the actual finale. I'm killing all of you. Where's Sumo Cow?
Oh no.
Alright.
Alright.
Oh, it's me. Okay, fantastic. Okay, let's wait for everyone.
Rejoin now.
Okay, I was actually hoping it would go
I
down the
had a
entire
feeling I was gonna
list.
be next, but I'm kind of glad.
No. They just loaded in before me, even though I preloaded the world.
Internet. You can,
So now you can say
House to
first.
be on US East.
Maybe they
Wait.
maybe they
Amazing internet
a lot more
connections.
often than initially
Nope.
thought.
Uncle, do you hear my fan?
who knows?
I do not.
Okay, 1 second.
Okay. Even when I'm talking.
Dusty crap.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, even when you're talking.
Oh no.
Okay, that's good to know.
It's good to know that.
Small oversight. This world has a limit of 32.
Oh no.
Oops.
Oh no.
Aha.
Oh.
Oh my.
Oh.
Okay, backup worlds. Let's do the cinema because we have enough people.
Stabby cinema?
Guys are chumps
We should give Wanna go Treijim stabby? some time this time to load in.
So
what's up?
Count to 20 before we
Wait,
let
they
them.
No,
can't
Stabby cinema
load in.
doesn't
The
load.
world's full.
We have to go to that.
No,
YouTube
not
channel
Stabby, the
that's
first one.
really- Yeah, that really ugly one.
And then when we change
Um.
not very good.
Treijim,
Anything
would
with
you like
the
us to
loot
do
on
a
Shark
scuff
Player that has a
countdown
loot
and all of us
button.
are different numbers while we do it?
Was it? I didn't
Some
favor
people
it.
still can't get in.
I know.
Pull it up. It's in my recents.
I know,
My fellow
everyone's
tour
here
guides.
at the moment.
Do
We
you
gotta-
remember which one it is, Alizu?
Hello.
Yeah. I
Wait,
do.
is it YouTube Cinema or Sutsuka's YouTube?
No, it's not Yu Suzuka. That was just an amateur. It was.
It's YouTube Cinema? Okay.
22,000.
All right.
222,000.
Change of plans. Let's...
Okay,
Race you.
give him 20 seconds. Give him 20 seconds.
Alright, who's the master this time?
I hope you're master.
It's me. It's me.
Okay, good.
The moral of the story is, if you say first, you won't be first.
Yeah.
It's like in an anime when you say, I'm getting married tomorrow.
Karma.
Yeah, pretty much.
Everyone grab a seat.
Yes.
Oh, tell me
what-
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes, please.
Do
not block the projector. Wait,
But
there's
what
no.
if I want to?
I can't actually take a seat. These seats.
Actually,
Because
this
if we
would be a
block
great
projector,
time.
we can't see the video.
I'm kidding.
The video... Look,
Okay,
the
definitely.
video
going
is
to,
for music. The video is
It's
for
for
music.
music.
Doesn't matter if you can't
That's
see it.
I wanted to
I will
pick a
be-
venue.
Yeah.
So bad.
Well, we're here now.
Yeah.
I'll be,
So much loading in.
I'll probably be here because I need to... Wait, can I access the...
We did it, Sheen. We're here.
I need to click on the player.
We did it. We made it. The anti-tour guide barrier dropped.
Is this a mini?
Oh, because no, that's not only the
something
the
called
overall spots.
too
That's
many entities in the room.
Yeah, too many entities.
I had to
It
find
was
a
min
bigger
cap
room.
16 and max cap 32. Unfortunately.
VR only. Poop.
It's like dark and weird spots.
Also, if anyone needs
Entering URL. Wired. Wired, what are you doing?
I know. And season.
Yeah, lock.
Weird.
Master. Yeah, there you go. I was gonna say master lock.
Railing.
Real one. Okay, I don't like the.
Okay,
don't-
how many are we expecting?
Right.
We're at 35.
But
Probably like 40, I would say. Like,
I
at
don't like
least,
the
maybe.
seats are.
Cap it at that, I guess.
Understandable, but I'll take it. I guess we'll just have to.
Didn't even check the wealth player count. 64. Okay, we're good.
I actually don't know where the safety settings got moved to. You can turn off the very poor avatars to the very.
To turn off avatars, so try this. Hit escape. The big menu, the main menu.
Everyone just froze for a second.
Yeah, how do you get out?
Attention travelers, there are
Click on the
snacks
shield.
available at the concession stand.
Go through every
Please
rank.
refrain from eating any sandwiches you have
There's
hidden
only
in
5
your
ranks. 6
pockets.
ranks.
Oh man.
What the hell is this? It's an invite plus,
And
it's
yes,
for a big
please
wait
buy our
there.
overpriced popcorn while you're at it.
Don't worry, I snuck in.
This is horrible. Why is there so many people here?
Really?
It's just trying to
All
make
good.
myself comfortable.
Uh,
37.
$20 for like one popcorn?
Well, here's candy corn.
No. One. You know what I mean. One.
One.
And pay $5 per butter.
There be like.
Alright, you heard him here, everybody. One piece of popcorn, $20.
Oh, okay.
The popcorn is available in several different flavors, including golden apple Treijim,
He should have been home.
Golden apple Treijim. That's ridiculous.
vanilla regret, Vin Diesel, and sheen corn.
Sheen corn.
I mean, if it's a cornbread.
Sheen corn tastes like.
Why
just
does
like
sheen
regular
corn sour
popcorn.
sound so inappropriate?
Tuna melt? I haven't eaten anything yet. I've eaten noodles like a...
That's a matter of opinion.
Probably something like
Is
cornbread.
there an eat the popcorn where it just contains the emotion of getting annoyed that you're having to listen to people munching?
4 hours, no
If you
Just
order
regular
the
popcorn, but it's sheeted
Vin
purple.
Diesel flavor, there's a gun hidden in the popcorn.
Excellent.
There's no
Thank
popcorn.
you.
It's just a gun in a bag.
That shoots out.
Sounds like Rendizo.
Yeah, that's
Whenever
that's
you shoot it, it goes.
Face down.
Ah, bubbles. Got it.
Baby as well. How about that?
Bubbles. Alcohol.
Literature flavored popcorn.
Ooh, yes, yes, exactly. That's a
Pimon Nick popcorn. Flavor tastes like the hardware department.
the hardware department.
The hardware department.
God damn it.
So is that
Metallic or Timberwood?
Yes.
Apparently, there's a way to make it less weirdly dark in this room. There's like an inner world menu.
Get off.
Oh, hey, I'm actually gonna come with you.
Why did you have to enact violence?
Hello, J Monkey.
Yes, hello.
Oh, I just clicked jump.
Travelers, on a serious note, we beg of your patience. Treijim is setting up some things for you. Please have patience. We'll be ready soon.
Yes.
Also, I just realized I'm stuck in the seat.
Yeah.
You have to respawn to get out.
Hey, that's fine. I mean, you're not going anywhere, are you?
Come and take a seat. Come and take a seat.
You're not gonna leave midway through, are you?
Yeah, this is
You
like
have no reason to get up.
the start of
Up
an
your hands.
SCP.
This is a hold-up. Give me all your money.
You go to
Got up anyway. Oh no, no.
yeah, you go to the theater and you like go to the seat, and then you're just stuck.
Imagine having money.
They're all mimics.
Did you go to the restroom?
Give me all your V-Bucks.
Yes, I took a little tinkle.
Okay.
Where's the?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. My friends, please position yourselves so that you can clearly hear me. I will be standing here because I need to frequently change the music over here, but I also need to be close enough to give you access to seats. So, find a spot where you can clearly hear me. I will be standing here.
Alright.
Seeing the screen is optional. The music is here to add to the atmosphere. You do not need to see the screen. I repeat, you do not need a good view of the screen. Just sit somewhere you're comfortable where you can clearly hear me. Now,
Somebody actually has popcorn.
it's like being in an actual cinema crunch. Before I get into the story,
Beautiful. I actually have popcorn I can get.
do it. Before I get into the story, I'm going to offer a few words about the conception of this. As you know, it is called The Waiter, and you can probably guess it is about a waiter. But that wasn't the first idea I had for this story. Originally, it was going to be a barista. It was going to be a small cafe and someone who makes coffees. And then I thought, no, I don't actually like coffee. I'm not going to be able to put my heart into this. I changed it to
I crashed.
but then I didn't find. You're fine.
Yeah, that was.
But then I couldn't
that was a
find
lag.
a word to sum up pastry chef that was sufficient enough. So I settled on a waiter. Decided they do not make the food, they simply serve the food. Did a lot of research into what waiters do, because I've never been one myself. Watched interviews, looked up the best and worst things of the waiting industry, figured out what setting to put it in, all that fun stuff. But eventually, I settled on having a waiter who embodies the best things about a waiter. That is, knowing how to read people and loving serving people. And this character was born from these ideas. This character, of course, has weaknesses like any other character. And as we go through this script, you'll come to see just what they are and how they develop the plot. Now, I see some people talking in the back. That's completely fine. I assume they're not that interested in what I'm talking about at the moment. If you do want to have a conversation with someone, I did say this is more casual, but I would still like for everyone to hear me, so if you want to talk, please take it to a distant corner or something like that. Just be considerate of recordings.
What? There's just someone up in the ceiling.
Yeah, they're allowed to be there. So,
This is so immersive, but thank you.
Don't worry about it.
You're welcome.
it's just like real life. Little Jen's here.
Yeah, there's always one person in the ceiling tiles.
Okay,
waiting
where to start? I'm going to stay unmuted. You're going to hear me going through all my documents, clicking in and pressing keyboards and stuff, everything. Hello, Metal. You're right between me and my controls. Take a seat.
Sorry.
Get comfy.
For those of you just
To start
arriving,
off-
you do not need to see the screen. Just sit in a place you can hear Treijim, sorry.
To start off, let me paint a picture for you. This is where the story begins. We are in a train carriage. Not a modern train. An older steam train with shining wood paneling and nice red cushioned seats. But it's dark. We're going through a tunnel. And all you hear is the sounds of the train echoing off the tunnel walls. Please, as we go, adjust your volume as you see fit. These are just songs off YouTube. They are not all adjusted to work together. You should now be able to hear the train. And as we fade into this view, if you can't hear the train, come and click the resync.
And or adjust your world volume.
Or wait for it to load, or turn your world volume up.
There's another
Make
thing.
sure untrusted URLs are on as well,
Exactly.
if you've never been in a video world. Okay.
You can keep going. I'll ask my question next.
Sure. Everyone else got the music going all right?
Yeah. Yeah, good.
Excellent.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
And in this train, in this tunnel, in this cabin, we join the waiter. As I'm not sure whether I was going to cut straight to the description or whether to have the following intro where he sort of talks a bit about himself. This is one of the openings I had in mind. I have a confession to make. I do not possess the confidence that many believe I do. Indeed, I do not consider myself to possess much courage at all. My mother has always said I am too smart for my own good. An aunt once said that with a smile I could have the heart of anyone in town. A merchant from across the sea once expressed his surprise at my apparent ability to read people's intentions. And when I was younger, my father told me that he could not have imagined a better son. But, of course, it is untrue. It is a facade. For you see, I too often ignore the pleas of my heart, and I dream small, for fear of risking and losing too much. But this is the story of how that all changed. The story of my first time away from my hometown, my first real job, my first love, and my first heartbreak. This is the story of my time in Ephrata, and it begins here. The waiter stirs. The passengers across from him, an older and a younger gentleman, whisper about the end of the tunnel. As the cabin wakes up, the rhythmic, muffled clamour stirs his stomach. Is this excitement or nervousness? He swallows it down. The thought of the big city is frightening, but the young waiter is prepared. He's already secured his first job at his grandfather's restaurant, as well as accommodations, and he has a good number of coins, insurance from his father's death in the war, hidden away on his person. So, the waiter sits straight, smiles, and sets his eyes upon the window, waiting for that burst of light. And then I find the music. I find the music. This
It's a lot easier when they're just buttons.
It's much easier when they're just buttons. Alright. And then we have the real opening. That was just a little taste.
An appetizer. A little pre-meal snack, if you will. I call it my pre-dinner.
Oh, there it is.
He's just teasing us at this point.
In his mind, his mother is still there, waving from the front gate, her golden hair dancing across her face as the carriage rounds a corner and heads for the exit of the small town where he grew up. May he find a new life, she had said, filled with opportunity, excitement, and love. He takes a deep breath, and the light comes. We zoom out of the carriage, and before us, filled with brilliant sunlight, is a gorgeous countryside. A beautiful city in the distance, sitting on the shore. Story by Treijim, world by Treijim, all that fun stuff comes up. And VRTravellers presents The Waiter. That is probably how I was going to open it. I'm going to pause here while I set up some stuff. If you have questions or comments or want to talk, eat popcorn, whatever, now's the time to do so.
We're all future
I finished the
mentors
popcorn.
Dang.
Were they what?
We're all
Like
future
my
tours planned to start like that? Presented by
Like what?
With your
VRTravellers and then...
opening credits.
Yeah, opening credits.
That was my idea with the prince. I believe
Started with
Sheen is planning something similar. If it's a world we make, it's something that we're going to include. And it's something that I did intend to include in every tour that I made.
Yeah.
So wait,
Alright.
so all the music does it come from the team?
Sorry?
Like,
I'm already crying.
where that comes from?
Yes. This tour in aesthetic was actually kind of inspired by Ghibli films. A bit more down to earth, a bit more slice of life, a bit more quaint.
Based.
Sorry, Ghibli films.
The fun ones.
Ghibli.
Alright.
Ghibli,
Can we see the new
Ghibli,
ones?
You wanted to ask
We know
where all
what
the
you meant.
music came from for the prince?
Yeah, well, you know, I just
Uh,
assumed it was-
There is a lot of music. I'm happy to give out a list at the end of the tour for anyone who's interested in going and listening to these again. It's totally fine. Alright, are we all ready for the next part? Day 1. This tour is broken down into days. 10 days, but we don't do every day, don't worry. Okay.
Flashbang.
While you're doing that.
Next scene.
Right?
Is it bright? Yes, it's bright. I'm sorry. Next scene.
Hey,
Imagine
Nightfall.
we are at a train station. Inside a train station. Similar to the ones from Nick's Worlds, if you know those. It's big, it's bustling, it's a big city station, and it is crazy. Chapter 1. The train station is alive. Whistles blow, dispatches holler, and crowds of people talk and laugh and cry, and everything is a soup of sound and movement. The waiter lets the buzz of the city course through him. What a beautiful day to arrive. All he needs to do is find his chauffeur that the restaurant sent. He sees a few signs with names on them over by the exit, so with his luggage in tow, he pushes forth. And then we probably move to the exit of the train station. But none of these signs bear his name. He's sure of it. The waiter climbs some stairs to get a better vantage point and looks for a clock. He's on time. Was his chauffeur delayed? He asks one of the men holding signs if there is anywhere else where travelers are picked up. The man just thumbs over his shoulder toward the exit. The waiter thanks him. It seems his mother was right about city folk. And then we move outside. And imagine, if you will, a rather quaint European city with a touch of Venice. So think canals and like a beautiful Italian countryside aesthetic. The exterior is only better than the interior in that the air moves more freely here. Crowds of people swarm in and out of the station entrance, two forces constantly against one another like a river mouth at high tide. There are some others here with signs, but again, none bear his name. His heart sinks a little, but he does not despair. They must be late, and so he waits. And he waits. And the sky turns orange in the evening, and he waits. And then, forgive me, I haven't practiced any of these voices. Are you waiting for someone? The waiter turns to see a young man carrying some sort of violin. He recognizes him. This man was busking across the street earlier. The waiter's mother had warned him of thieves and crooks in the city, but the waiter wants to believe people are better than that. My chauffeur, the waiter says. He's supposed to take me to the Golden Willow. The busker rubs the back of his head and looks about. Hi, you've been sitting here quite a while. I seen you across the street while I was playing. Show me your ticket. The waiter hesitates. Oh, come on. I won't take your ticket. It's useless now anyway. Look, Afrena has 2 stations. You want to make sure you've been waiting at the right one, or you're in for a bit of a hike. 2 stations? The waiter pulls out his ticket and reads it. Oh, how could he have been so daft? He was sure he followed the instructions given. The busker leans over to read the ticket. Sorry to be the bringer of bad news, but where's the other station? The waiter gets up and picks up his luggage. The busker laughs. Across the city. Besides, you really think your chauffeur is still waiting after all this time? A brief silence passes between them. The station exit is considerably quieter than it was. Tell you what, I'll take you to the Golden Willow. That's very generous of you, but are you sure? I didn't exactly factor a tour guide into my budget. The busker laughs again. It's a very honest laugh, scratchy and clear. It's on the way to me home anyway. Come on, let's get a move on. And so the waiter follows the stranger into the big city, trusting in his judgment of character. My friends, you don't need to follow me. You can sit where you are. And yes, I mentioned a tour guide in this tour. That's our first taste of a city, and a little peek at a surely returning character.
I don't really remember if it was mentioned. I don't know if it was mentioned before, but what time period would it be set in?
That would be so cool.
Time period? You know what? I would like to leave you to imagine that as we go, and see what comes to mind.
Alright.
Feel free to ask again after
So,
you're still not sure. Yes?
when you made a note, like, what was it? You actually were, like, questioning yourself, like, and then we maybe move to, like, the exit of the train station. Is that stuff, like, in your notes, or was that, like, you improvising, like, in between the lines? I'm actually just curious.
I write the script before I do the world, so stuff like where we move depends on the world that I make or end up with. So I try to keep it a little flexible in my notes and just be like, we're probably going to move at this point, but that'll get finalized once the world is made, and then that'll get reinterpreted back into the script.
So it was like actually, that was like actually like in the script as like we're probably going to move.
It wasn't worded that way, but yes, essentially.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I was just wondering. I was just, curious.
Yeah. No, yeah, these are the kinds of questions you guys are more than welcome to ask. This is, like I said, the only time that we're going to share with you, like, everything behind the scenes that goes into a tour. Because all our other tours, they're just top secret start to finish. So make the most of it.
Ask as much. Open book.
If you want. Yeah?
What's this music?
Will this tour have library books?
No worries. Thank you for coming.
I mean,
Probably. Whoever's leaving, thank you.
So.
Yeah, so it will have loans. I didn't have them planned out because I only do that after everything else is finalized, because there's no point making a loan and then the script isn't.
Okay.
Was that everyone?
Too powerful.
Yep.
The Treijim is dead.
Do we have to rejoin again? Yeah.
Dusty again.
No, let me think.
Uh-oh.
We timed it.
That was a joke, lads.
No, that should be fine.
No.
We just will. Wait, can you?
Not like it matters anyway.
Just no one touch the controls. Yeah, it'll be fine.
Okay.
I just like,
Oh, that was interesting.
you know, when I'm
Take a seat. Everyone timed out. Guys, everyone timed out. It's all good.
Yep.
Return to your
Take
seats.
your
There
seats.
was one seat to my right
That's
that
awesome.
Penguin was sitting in.
Yeah.
Did. We're too powerful
Yeah,
to be
I
honest.
bet.
Yeah, I thought it was me too.
Take your seats, guys.
You're so back.
Was that the first quest?
The first quest is to survive the crash. No, the first quest is some way away, actually.
Imagine if there was a tour that starts with a plane crash, and as soon as the plane crashes, well, so does everyone.
Your game crashes.
Yeah.
That's the tour.
Immersive. So immersive.
Bad ending. Crash. Alright.
Only one of you will survive. You have to figure out
Time crash 0.
You get on there later.
So, okay, to save cycling through everybody, we're just going to leave the player controls unlocked. Please do not touch them. Thank you.
Play nice. Be good travelers. We are.
Okay.
We'll be able to see who is it.
I think we're good to go. Now, what was the last thing I said?
Something.
You were answering a
Golden Willow?
question about.
Okay. Okay, then it's probably fine. I'm going to move on to the next point in the story.
Yeah.
Some of these parts do have plenty of script. Some of these parts have no script, so we'll just... You'll just pick it up as we go.
Yeah. I do have one question from Dusty as we're loading up, though. How much of the tours are like hard scripted, like with actual lines, and how much of it is just improvised on the fly?
In my tours, 100% scripted. I'm not much of an improv guy. That's more Sheen's forte. He's good at it as well compared to me. So I like a script. That gives me the security and the confidence that I need. Yeah, that's just how I do it.
Understandable.
Except for the off comments, you know. Actual tour itself, or scripted. Of
course.
Yeah. Although I think
So sweet, thank you.
Once McZealots left my mouth, I think I decided never to improv again.
And
We will
I
make
still remember the
McZealots
day when I
jealous.
found McZealots.
No, you didn't.
McDonald's.
Get out of town.
And the Prince.
Alright, take your seats, guys.
Okay.
Put the volume back up if you need to. Okay. So at this point, I need to describe the restaurant to you. Imagine an open-air restaurant. Quaint, Italian, by a canal. And a large golden green willow overhangs all the tables. It's evening, there are lanterns out, the sky is purple, and there's just a soothing murmur of a crowd. It's a nice restaurant, a little bit upper class, and the restaurant itself sits adjacent to the dining area, and you've got the booth and you've got the bright, glowing, busy kitchen view visible. And then we have some script here. The sky is purple by the time the pair arrive. The Golden Willow is a beautiful restaurant. Nestled between a canal and an old watchtower, it glows warmly, dotted with lanterns that keep the night at bay. But there are a lot of tables, and he hasn't even seen the interior yet. This restaurant is much bigger than he had anticipated. Here we are then, the busker says. I hope you weren't meant to start your shift. Looks like they're starting to pack up. The waiter looks at him. How did you know I have a job here? Just a hunch. The busker pats him on the shoulder and walks away. My sister's gonna love this story, he says to himself as he walks away. What a gem. And then we have another voice that I wasn't set on, so apologies, it's going to be Rocky. You! The waiter jumps. A short, plump man is stomping toward him like a compact white storm cloud. You were meant to be here 4 hours ago! The waiter offers a smile. Yes, I apologize. I ended up at the wrong station, so I didn't ask for excuses! The chef pauses, twisting his mouth. The few remaining customers are looking at him, so he lowers his voice. It's too late to start your shift now. Go home and unpack your things or something. Come on tomorrow, on time. The chef places something down on a nearby table. Your grandfather isn't here right now, so he can't defend you, and don't even try that. And the chef storms back inside. The waiter can feel customers looking at him. Part of him wants to be upset, but the chef is right. He was late, and he made a mistake. But he had no idea his grandfather was away. Is he stuck working for this angry little chef until he returns? The waiter looks at what the chef had placed on the table. It's a key with a tag on it, and a dress. He picks it up, picks up his luggage, and leaves the Golden Willow. I forgot to loop the music.
Fair enough.
Now I prepare the next scene. I would have had fun with that guy's voice, I think.
I think so too.
You would have found something definitely fun.
Right. This song here.
I love the description of calling someone a compact storm cloud. Lol.
Yeah, I had fun with him.
I mean...
Yeah.
And he's recurring, don't worry. Alright. And then we are inside his grandfather's apartment. It is a dusty old city apartment. It's dark, it's quiet. And then we have some script. His grandfather's apartment is dark, cramped, and dusty. The waiter closes the front door behind him and locks it, and the gentle sounds of the city at night are shut out. He thinks for a moment to call out in case his grandfather is home, but just not at the restaurant. But he thinks better. The upstairs room is locked, and the kitchen is small and dim. It doesn't seem like any food was left for him, so his stomach remains empty. The waiter notices a pillow and quilt on the sofa. Ah, big city luxury. He leaves his luggage in the living room, finds a candle to light, and changes into something more comfortable. The waiter sits on the sofa and stares at the little orange flame. This didn't quite go how I thought it would, he says to the candle. To be honest, I'm regretting this a little. Golden Willow is much larger than I thought. It's not going to be like the copper goat back home. And that chef. Perhaps he was just having a bad day. I shouldn't judge so soon. And he looks out of the bay window at the night sky and the crescent moon. Suppose I should get some sleep. Tomorrow will be better, right? He looks at the candle. It doesn't respond. He climbs beneath the quilt, blows the candle out, and with nobody to say goodnight to, he closes his eyes. That is the end of day one.
Yay.
Nice.
I have a question, Treijim.
Please ask.
Are there any secrets that we can influence or triggers that we can speak to affect on the first day?
No, the first day is just setting up the premise of everything. The first quest comes at the end of the second day. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 quests, but 3 of them are a repeated quest, so 2 unique quests, probably. Right, let me find this music.
Gotta be honest, this feels reminiscent of the lecturer with the day system.
Yeah, the day system makes a lot of sense when you see the plot develop. Almost essential, I think.
I agree.
All right.
Especially when with something that's slower, like a waiter's. Oh, there goes Pimon.
Yeah, of course. No. He said lecturer, and he left. Alright.
You cursed him, how could you?
Day 1 finishes with a fade out, and we fade back in the same apartment, but with the light of dawn. The next day, the waiter wakes up early as always, airs out the quilt on the balcony, and finds some old bread and cheese for breakfast. The events of the past day tumble back into his mind. He isn't used to having so much to worry about. The waiter decides to clear his mind with some fresh air, and he leaves the apartment to see what the big city is like during the early morning. Because of course the restaurant is an evening restaurant. But I don't say that in the script. And then we have some city to wander around. Again, lots of sort of Venetian type architecture, but with a bit more gardens and greenery and that kind of thing. And then we have a very important scene. The city is oblivious to his troubles. It doesn't care that he arrived at the wrong station. It doesn't care that he missed his first shift. It doesn't care that the chef of the Golden Willow dislikes him. And it doesn't care that his grandfather is away, or that every face he sees is unfamiliar. The waiter wanders through streets and alleys and finds himself overlooking a stretch of canal. He finds a bench to sit upon, and he ponders his situation. His mother had warned him about how rough it would be, about how the city is different from town life. Nobody has time for one another. Maybe she was right, he says to himself. Maybe this was a mistake. He awaits a response, a sign, but the city isn't different. A bell rings in the distance, clear and bright, and he looks up. White birds take off into the deep blue sky, a fresh breeze blows his hair, nearby children laugh. The waiter closes his eyes and takes a deep breath. He can afford to stay a while longer. A door slams. He looks down across the canal. A young woman in a green dress is trying to hold it shut from the outside. After a moment she gives up and runs. The same door swings open and a rugged young man peers out but doesn't follow her. Looks like some sort of argument. I suppose I could have it worse, the waiter says to himself. Nobody to talk to means nobody to argue with. Despite the attempt to reassure himself, something about those words stings. Hurried footsteps steal his attention. He turns and catches sight of flowing green. Dramatic pause for music change. What is the flowing green? Take a moment to guess.
It's a wave of leaves. Money.
Money. Money. Money.
Money. Leaves. Ah, for those who have been listening carefully, you already have the answer. Yes.
No, I'm
Pack, you're a
I
genius.
am obviously being ridiculous.
What did Pack figure out this time?
Man. It's a romance story.
Come on.
The love
Oh,
of
let's
money.
go,
Money.
Lincoln.
Hello?
Let's go.
Failed.
Hard cash, my beloved. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that.
Call me
this
Cash,
is
because in
like-
the streets, I'm always...
God.
Old.
Give me music.
Mario gets Peach. Luigi gets Daisy. What does Wario get?
Paid.
Okay. There stands the most beautiful woman the waiter has ever seen. For a moment, for just a moment, he cannot feel the bench beneath him, or the cool air, or his own body. He cannot hear the dogs bark or the children play. He can only feel the sun and see her face. And nothing else exists. Ah, I guess you saw that. Oh, are you alright? Hmm? Oh, I'm fine. Just my brother thinking he knows what's right for me again. He gets loud. Passionate, to use his wording. That's usually my cue to get out of the house. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you. What? Oh, no, not at all. Can I help you in some way? She smiles and gives a dismissive wave when she notices there's something in her hand. It's some sort of half-eaten bread bun. Oh, I walked out during breakfast, but I'm not hungry anymore. You can have it. I ate already, but thank you. I insist. Either it goes to you, or it goes into the canal. The waiter relents and takes a bite. The pastry melts as his tongue touches it, and it lightly crunches as his teeth close in. He tastes sugar, butter, lemon, cream, almonds, citrus, honey. He isn't even sure, but he doesn't want to swallow it. He doesn't want the flavor to end. This is the best thing I've ever tasted. She scoffs. Please, it's nothing special. It's a little stale anyway. I made it yesterday. You made this? You're amazing. Thank you. That's very kind of you. And she looks over her shoulder. I'm sorry, I need to go. You can have the rest of my breakfast. She offers a small wave and leaves the way she came. And just like that, she's gone. The waiter stands, breakfast in hand, and looks down the street. But he doesn't see the street. He sees her green dress, the dark hair. He sees her, and his heart sings. And that's the end of that scene. That's right. This is a love story. Try not to think about what that means for the endings yet.
You also managed to sneak the pastry chef in.
Neutral.
Yes, I did. I certainly did.
Yeah.
Don't think about the endings, friends. Let's focus on the here and now.
What you just said? Imagine the endings, and there's don't think about the endings. It's like, oh, I'm scared.
I tease, whatever. Okay.
Yeah, it's normal.
Alright. Next scene. By the way, am I going too fast, too slow? We're happy with the pacing? What do we think?
You're good.
Pretty good.
All good?
That said,
We're about a third of the way through my script, so... Oh, I know. I mean, inspired by Ghibli, I had to go all in on the food description. I had to.
Oh, I did accidentally hit the button.
Okay.
Was good. He described the most beautiful woman in front of him. There was a Sephiroth on the video.
Chairs are trapped.
Was it? I mean, you know, it's 2023. Okay.
Okay.
Next scene. We are back at the apartment. Wait for the music to load. Okay. When the waiter returns to his grandfather's apartment. He sees a project, an untidy house that needs tidying, and he busies himself cleaning. Because it wouldn't be a Ghibli tour without cleaning. However, though his body is occupied, his mind is elsewhere. He can only think about her. Is she married? Does she have a boyfriend? Does she even want a relationship? Does she own a bakery? Is it a family bakery? Does she enjoy life in the city? Would she want to move to the country? What does a baker think of a meager waiter? Would she appreciate them working in similar industries? Does she like dogs or cats? With all the windows of the apartment open, the wind carries all the dust outside. His mother had warned him that her father was married to his job, and that his residence would need cleaning and tidying. With the house airing, he starts work on the dishes. The sun reflects in hundreds of tiny iridescent bubbles. Was she even born in the city? Does she prefer red or white wine? What kind of music does she like? What sort of food would she want at her wedding? The waiter catches himself and laughs aloud. What a fool! You don't even know her. He stares at the shining bubbles. And yet... After he finishes the dishes, he dries his hands and checks the time. He's not needed at the Golden Willow for another hour. He checks his uniform, hanging up nearby, and makes sure everything is neat and straight. Something catches his attention. On the next hook is a twisted gathering of what look to be tires. He pulls them off and untangles them one by one. Most of them are very old, but one stands out. It's a waiter's tie, made of amber satin, like the ones from the Golden Willow, but this one has a pin in it. He removes it and holds it up. The sun dazzles off a little silver flower. Judging by the dust, it hasn't been used in a long time. The waiter cleans it and pins it to the breast of his own work vest. I'm sure he won't mind. My friends, the time has come for the waiter to attend his first shift. Follow me. /me runs away.
Yeah. Woo!
Truly wonderful.
All right.
Okay, run around in
This
circles.
cues us running to the area you're going to, trying to beat you.
Yes.
Trying to beat me, miss. And first quest coming up. First minigame. Let's see. I need this music. Is it this one?
Yes. 3 volunteers. Or 2 volunteers.
Yeah, 2 NPCs as always. Okay.
Yay, 2 NPCs. I volunteer.
Alright. Actually, I just thought about it. Would there have been volunteers?
Imagine.
Yeah, there were NPCs planned for this shift. A flower. The air is thick with various mouth-watering odors. The chef is quick to spot him. You're here, the chef says, and he pauses as though his statement requires an explanation. He spots the silver pin, narrows his eyes a little, and continues. You'll be serving indoors tonight. I need to keep an eye on you, and I don't want any passerbys to see the new employees. See that table over there? Set the others up the same way, then we start. That's old dialogue. I decided it was all outdoor restaurant, so some of this script is doesn't make much sense with the rest of it.
It needs a little refreshing.
Yeah, essentially.
All right.
I guess that's
work in progress.
Work in progress? I'm afraid not.
Well,
it's at work now.
previously work in progress.
It's a work. It's a progressed work. Okay, and then we have first quest. Okay. No narration here. This is what I had in mind for quests. Goes and checks notes I haven't read in here. So, given the main character is a waiter, the minigame would of course involve waiting. Now, a big struggle I had was, are the NPCs the customers or the waiters? Because the NPCs usually are a competitive force, and the travelers represent the protagonists, but it doesn't make much sense for 30 people to be wait staff for 2 customers. So this one was a pretty big challenge for me. But a lot of the ideas I came up with involved things like reading notes. So I thought of several tables, 6 to 8, travelers split into groups 4 to 5, and there is one waiter, also a traveler, per group. So the key there, wait, the NPCs can represent a different force, and the travelers can be the customers and the waiters. So the group has a score. The waiters start at the kitchen counter, and when the timer starts, the waiter has to go to the group, open the menu for them, and the group needs to pick the menus. Now these menus would have, of course, delicious looking food, and the menu would change from tour to tour. I would set up either something seasonal or something random. I never decided, but the menus were always different, so you had to think about what they were. Now, you may be wondering, where do the NPCs come into this? The NPCs are the kitchen, because the kitchen is the force that is out of the waiter's hands and out of the customer's hands, but it is essential for the waitstaff. So it would have been something like, there are timed rounds. The group has to, each waiter has to go to their group, open the menu for them, take their orders, and then the NPC, the waiter, has to go to the kitchen and deliver that. And maybe there would have been some ways to do decoys or sabotages, or the kitchen doesn't have enough ingredients for this dish. And essentially, the NPCs are trying to make the waiting job a little bit difficult for the waitstaff. And it's the job of the waitstaff to try and get the best score for their table. And it's the job of the customers to just, I guess, roleplay good customers. Be a little bit agreeable, be a little bit picky, whatever they think is going to make it more fun. And then there was some sort of way to gauge the performance of each table, and maybe a certain number of tables need to get a certain number of points. Maybe we just, depends what table gets it, I'm not sure. So those are kinds of the ideas I had for the quest, and there would be 3 waiting quests for each tour. So it wouldn't have been that long, maybe 15 minutes or so. Sorry?
It was just something
Juicy?
I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I was just.
What did you say, sorry? Oh, sure. And I thought there had to be some other things, like maybe you can't eat a meal that's not yours. Maybe you lose points for delivering the wrong dish to the kitchen because they had to memorize the orders all the time. All this kind of stuff. That was the ideas I had for the main quest that would be repeated on this, and the variation and the speed of this quest was pretty important, because doing the same quest 3 times in a tour, you don't want it to drag on, because it would just make the tour too long and tedious.
You feel monotonous.
So that would have been the main minigame.
The idea of kind of turning it on its head and having the majority group kind of play the NPCs all together. I kind of like that. It actually reminds me of oh gosh, we just did the tour, the forest where we had to collect the wood and the berries.
The
Duke's
Prince?
Well.
Yeah, that's the prince.
Yeah, the Duke's Well and the
Duke's
Prince.
Yeah.
I do like that.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Tusi.
But like, I guess with the new game, would you wanted it to be more of like a kind of like everyone trying to be professional or very high energy, kind of like quick high energy?
Honestly, that would probably change from group to group, and that would depend on who's actually in the group. I don't mind, as long as the minigame is done properly from a back-end point of view, and I can actually figure out what the final points were. That's all that really matters, and it doesn't take up too much time as well.
I'd want the NPCs to be yelling like Gordon Ramsay at all the waiters.
No, no. Where's the
lamb sauce? Where's the lamb sauce? Oh, that would have gotten yelled so often.
Yeah,
basically.
Oh goodness.
Just a bunch of pre-recorded lines, you should say.
All right, friends, I'll be back in just a moment.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, no worries. Oh goodness, the soundboarders
Well,
in the
but
group
you
would have
can-
had a ball with that.
Oh no.
You mean that one over there?
They would have had all the Gordon Ramsay clips just
God, I wish I had the
soundboarded.
Hell's Kitchen thing right now.
Wake up! Yes, chef, wake up! You, what are you doing?
Wake up.
Yeah.
So what's just?
But I was thinking
everyone
like
in
Dr.
one
Eggman
table
is like
just
he
starts
takes like
chanting
he takes like a
soup.
bite of the
Yeah,
salad
it's
and
fine.
the soup. He's like,
Soup,
The
soup,
soup is
soup,
cold and the
soup.
salad is
salad is
hot.
hot.
It's even possible.
Hey, I'd like,
Yes.
When the
Yes.
I'd like,
and the salad's hot.
I'd like your
I was
best
thinking
salad,
that.
but like as a
I'm
soup,
glad you did the
please.
Red Sun one.
Yeah.
Um,
You know, what, you just blend it, don't you? Or you just
Within the
put
salad
it in a
top.
soup bowl.
I can only eat soups. I see that, I see that you have some like really good, your spaghetti is like on special today, but like I really need it as a soup. Thank you.
It's like, yes.
Okay, found it. Let me make sure it's not too loud first. Here we go.
Oh, there we go.
Very simple.
Perfect.
Everything
Beautiful.
else is Just get the blender.
Bing bong.
Just mash it,
Oh goodness sakes.
grate it.
Welcome back, Treijim.
Dice it
Okay.
into tiny pieces. Soup.
Yeah, that would have been a really fun
We
quest.
just need all the reality TV sound effects.
Yeah.
Certainly. So, also, another idea I had for that quest, I probably would have had asked Patreons to submit dish ideas as well, so that would have been like a point of contribution for that.
Wait,
Chili chungas.
we have the bar now, and now we have the restaurant.
Oh, no.
Kitchen in the rendezvous?
Can I get
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
the
Chicken
McSalad,
nugget.
the sad meal, the 10
Oh god, how
Wait a
many
minute,
Captain Panda, goddammit.
His wait staff.
how many people would have done fucking big smoke soda?
I'm going to blacklist that word, I swear. I swear to Abel.
Oh,
Okay,
boy.
let's continue.
We have a menu already.
So,
Yeah.
after the quest, there's a little bit of dialogue between the chef and the waiter. The chef makes his presence known with a loud, "Well, you're done for the night." And he hones in on the waiter. "How'd you find your first night?" The waiter wipes... I wrote wipes swipe, that's meant to say wipes sweat from his brow. "It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be." "Is that so?" The chef glances around and lowers his voice. "I actually got a couple customers who said they were impressed with the new kid. But don't let your head get big. I gotta tell you this as your boss. Doesn't mean they're right." The waiter smiles. He begins to see how this man does things. "Oh, thank you. Say, you want to come in early tomorrow?" "Early? For something in particular?" "Kid, it's a yes or no question." "Yes, I can come in early." "Good." And the chef waddles away. Waddle, waddle. The waiter heads home. Perhaps this wasn't a mistake after all. And that is the end of day 2.
This chef kind of reminds me of a character from another a game I play, Linscath, the culinarian head chef. Yeah, he's harsh and brusque, but like, all in all, he just cares about his people and wants them to succeed. That's why he holds them to such exacting standards.
It does sound reminiscent.
When I'm thinking of the
Okay.
when I'm thinking of like chefs, all I can picture is just Mung Dal from Chowder.
I don't know who that is, but it sounds funny.
MG32.
Oh, you don't know Chowder? No.
You know who I pictured after writing this? If you've seen Spirited Away, the little guy who, like the little round guy who's in like the first, I don't know, 2/3 of the movie, who bosses Chihiro around a lot. That's who I picture.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Okay. There's a second quest coming up, guys. Let's change the music. So, day 2 ends, day 3 begins, and then we've got day 5, which is brief, and then 8, 9, and 10. We are halfway through.
Oh.
Flashbang.
Flashbang.
So,
Think fast, circle nuts.
But I got to pull the pin first. Stupid.
there we go. Day 3,
Equivalent of flashbang.
Flash Furnace. Day 3 begins in the city marketplace, or a marketplace. So picture stalls, lots of wares, lots of activity, lots of colour and sound, and a beautiful sunny day. The busyness of the city marketplace rivals even the train station. The waiter is in awe. Stalls of madder and sherry and woad flap in the light breeze, which carries the sounds of haggling and music. The scents of pastries and seafood and candy waft amidst the crowds. Chickens flap in cages, cartwheels clatter against cobblestones, and hammering gavels declare their opening and closing of auctions. All this beneath the deep blue sky and the beaming sun. The waiter woke up early, just in case. What if she goes out for morning walks as well? He can't allow himself to miss such an opportunity. After a moment of daydreaming, prepares for the task at hand. Now, the second minigame in this tour. This is not a waiting minigame. This is, let me find my notes.
Is it the story we don't see behind the scenes is the story of the night guard.
The what?
The night
Shut.
guard.
The night guard.
What's that?
A night at the museum. I see.
No.
Oh.
It's a nap.
Perhaps like Mall Cop,
Summer
but
job.
the VRTravellers version.
All blark.
The guys working at a restaurant. Someone needs to guard
I'll
the
send you to the
restaurant.
museum for the night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Turn him into an exhibit. Yep.
Exactly.
Come.
Alright, so what I had for this is a market minigame. And there's only one of these per tour, unlike the the waiting ones. So, what there are is there's the travelers, who represent the waiter, and there are the two NPCs who represent rival cooks from rival restaurants. Now, there are food categories, and the travelers split into as many groups as there are food categories. So, proteins and greens and sweets or something, I hadn't decided. And then there is a timed round. Every timed round, that corresponding food group of travelers and both NPCs enter the market looking for the best deal. The deals will be randomly generated, and there might be decoys as well. And before the timer ends, the goal is for the travelers to find the best deal and bring it back before the rival cooks do. The rivals get a head start, and they do not see the decoys, so they have an advantage because they do not have the advantage of numbers. So basically, there's a little bit of, I guess, on-your-head research, maybe a little bit of math involved. And then the next food category comes along, and again, that group has to find the best deal for that, and so on. And then you count up how many traveler wins versus how many cook wins, rival cook wins. That's basically the idea I had for the first quest. It was a very rough idea. I'm not even sure how it would have affected the story at that stage. I was really just trying to come up with what's something that people can do that's thematic, that works with the current system of two NPCs and travelers and that kind of thing. So that was the marketplace minigame. Jonathan. Okay. Now, the plot thickens because something else happens in the market after the minigame. A familiar voice catches the waiter's attention. "Hi, brother. You're still in one piece." The busker from the train station has just finished playing, and his busking friend continues to play. The waiter is warmed to see such a friendly face. "Thanks to you, I owe you one." "Hey, I already told you not to worry about that." The busker gives him a hearty slap on the shoulder. The waiter almost drops his goods. Then the busker's friend turns their way, and everything stops. It's her. It's the girl from the canal, the baker in the green skirt. She's here right now. She's the busker's sister? The waiter gives a small wave and a smile, and she smiles back. The busker notices. She can bake and play an instrument. All the waiter can do is carry trays. "It's hard to catch a good crowd these days," the busker says. "The train station and market are good, but they get quiet later in the day." The waiter thinks. He must. It's the waiter. "You won't let me repay you, so at least let me extend an offer. Come and play at the Golden Willow tonight. My grandfather owns it. I'm sure he would love music for his customers." The busker's face lengthens. "The Golden Willow? Us?" He turns between the waiter and his own sister. "You sure it'll be alright? We don't exactly polish up the way your lot does." He gestures to the waiter's pristine uniform and then to himself and his sister dressed in a mismatched patchy garb. "No, she looks you look... Well, what I mean to say is you both look fine. I'll see you tonight." The waiter gives a small wave and a quick smile and hurries away, his heart racing. "You did it," he says to himself. "You did it." What a bumbler. Let's go to the next scene.
What a dork.
What a
Absolute
dork.
nerd. We love it.
Alright. Which song is it? This one. This one plays a lot. Okay.
Well, we gotta pause. I want to say again.
A flashbang is one thing, but I think a reverse flashbang is scarier.
True.
It's just darkness and you
You
don't
saying
hear
something?
anything.
Yeah. It's black and darkness. Ethan?
I just wanted to say... I just wanted to say thank you for showing us this. I'm having a great time as if we were on tour anyway.
Of course.
It's great.
I wouldn't be able to live with myself if this story just sat there never seeing the light of day.
Aw.
I had to share what I had.
We did all this work.
Everything good upstairs? You guys alright? I can't see what you're doing. There's just silhouette on black. But, okay, fantastic.
It's so dark. You're like so far up here. Can you like hear?
Black and darkness. Okay.
I can hear now.
So, we are back now at the restaurant. About an hour before the start of his shift. So just as it's coming up on evening. What he had arranged, it doesn't seem to register. The chef dismisses the young man and goes about barking orders in the kitchen, so the waiter begins his shift. After an hour or so, as the waiter wipes down a table, he hears a voice call out. "Aye!" The busker and baker are there, carrying a violin and guitar respectively. The waiter bows to the brother and takes the sister's hand, offering a kiss on the back of it. "Lovely to see you both." The busker laughs. "What a charmer! And you were right. Doesn't matter how rich and fancy the listener, music is a mysterious thing." And he turns his attention to the patrons seated outside. "Are you lot ready for some fun?" And for a moment the waiter regrets extending this invitation. The patrons here are a different class to the siblings. He can read their faces. They're put off. This was a mistake.
Ooh.
And then...
Please hold one of the song buffers.
Got to find the music.
Cheer trap.
Oh no, I'm genuinely invested. I really want to know what happens next.
Yes.
And then, this is what happens next.
Died. The end.
And then they start playing. "Kindly let me borrow your hearts," the busker says as he dances between tables. "Let the music carry your worries away. Let your spirit stir." The waiter witnesses a change. Shining black shoes tap the ground. Fingers tap tables. Heads nod and smiles spread. At one point, the waiter sees something extraordinary. Upon taking plates back to the kitchen, the chef is arm in arm with another cook dancing, and the music carries on into the night.
That's in the first half, not gonna lie.
Take a moment to dance, my friends. I need to find more music. I would need more... I would have needed more narration for this part, because it would have been a short music sample.
I'll dance my best in my chair.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, I thought the chef was gonna be pissed or something.
Yeah.
No, the chef is not heartless. He'll be pissed afterwards, exactly. Just to keep up impressions, appearances. Alright.
Go.
Yeesh.
Solo version. Which one's the solo version?
Oh man, come on, man.
Hell, man, if you didn't find a way to hurt yourself in this tour where we literally don't move anywhere, I would have been very surprised.
You should see Treijim.
It's quite literally just sit and be comfortable. Bless your cotton socks.
He's instructed a dance.
Unfortunately, I danced next to the cliff.
You have
Please keep your arms and feet
It sounds
in the
that he'd
aisles
find a way
of the
to injure himself
theater at
by
all times.
breathing too hard.
That is the element.
At this point, it feels like I'm gonna have to have cat trying to
this one?
sit on me to keep me still.
It's this one. It's this one. Okay, I will
That's
arrange
totally
that. Don't
possible
think I
because
won't
existing
arrange
is
that.
already painful enough.
L-Man needs to be just kept in a bubble at this point.
Deploy the immobility kitten.
I can't even
All
say
right.
that. Knowing L-Man, he'll find a way to hurt himself with the bubble.
Yeah, true.
I'll just pop in midair.
We should have a tally in the Discord for how many times Elman hurts himself.
Yes.
More than one.
Yeah, at least more than one. Well,
Alright.
At least
Over
more than-
9,000.
At least once per town.
Once per tour or 10 times per tour?
Once per tour, at least.
Let's continue.
Mm-hmm.
So. Oh, okay.
Good night.
I'll catch you around.
Have a good night, Magnus. Thanks for coming.
Take care.
Yes, it was good seeing you, friend.
Alright. Here's what happens next. It's nearing closing time. The waiter is given the last hour of his shift off, and he spends it sitting with the baker at an empty table in the near-empty restaurant by the canal. The baker plays softly. Her brother, the busker, has gone home. I envy you, she says after a silence. Envy me? The waiter isn't sure he heard that correctly. Why? Because. She looks down at her fingerwork, a gentle smile lingering. People look down on people like us, buskers and waiters, and I let it show. Someone turns away when I play, or steer their children the other way, or put a hand over their ears, and it cuts. It cuts deep. But you've chosen to serve, and you do it so well. You listen to every customer. You read them too. You really understand people. You make them feel like everything is fine. You make them feel comfortable, like I envy your confidence. Thank you. He wants to give her all the reasons that she's wrong. But he looks at her. Her gaze is low, shifting slightly from side to side. Her fingers hesitant, but her pose not quite as relaxed as before. Is something wrong? I know what you're thinking, the baker says suddenly, her eyes now locked onto him. Her look is fierce. I don't even like baking. Someone had to learn to feed my brother and I, and, well, you know how he is. I only want to play. That's what I want to do. Usually, when one declares their dream aloud, one displays an emboldening of the spirit. But the waiter senses something else. This declaration was painful to make. She glances to the side toward the canal shining in the moonlight. And she stops playing. I'm going to the music academy in Edrefana. I'm leaving in a week. It's getting late. I should go.
Oh.
And she does. Right. Please, come back and play sometime. He smiles. But the smile is not real. That night, sleep does not come to him until the bluebirds sing their morning song. indeed.
Man pulling all night.
That is the end of day 3.
Ouch.
That's right. We skip day 4 entirely. Day 5 begins, and I need to find the music.
And
Someone's playing a clicker game over there. You don't call him Clicker Monkey for nothing.
Is this what made the timeline so important? Is it because she leaves in a week?
Is he trying to Smash Brothers?
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Time sensitive.
No worries.
No, good. This is very casual.
I'm digging the clicking.
Just for that, Jay, I'm
Yeah,
giving you the bad
it
ending.
takes the whole weekend to go through the two.
they clickety
Yeah,
clack.
you gotta skip a couple days to cram it in.
Clickety clack.
Okay,
Hopefully this one plays. It's a 3-hour ambience video.
Waiter, go.
Okay. Neutral ending, she
I
goes.
do have some others I need to see today, so
Bad
I hate to
ending,
jump. I
she
want to hear
goes,
the ending,
and,
but I'll see the. I have to see the
Matt's
ending.
cocked up. Good
What's that, Pan?
ending, she
Yeah.
gives up on going. I can smell. I can
You got
smell the
guesses?
endings
Go on.
from here. I can
Go on,
smell
go
the
on.
endings from here.
Go on, yeah, what you got?
He's thinking
Good
about the
ending.
endings after you told him not
Yeah,
to.
good endings. She gives up on going to the music place, music academy.
Good ending, she
Spend the
gives
rest
up
of their
on
lives
that,
together.
okay.
Yeah,
No.
sure.
Good
The
ending.
good-
She
the good
gives
news,
up
they
on
Okay.
go.
That'd be cool.
Interesting,
Wow.
interesting.
Give up on.
That kind of seems like a bitter.
Give up on-
That
In the
seems almost
neutral
not
ending,
bittersweet,
she
but
gets
like
hit by a
you go through good
car.
and bad because you're telling
no.
because he eventually gets with her, but she gives up on her dream.
Yes. Exactly. Alright, well, you will find out.
Moral
You will
of the
find
story,
out.
give up.
Stay tuned. The moral of the story? Just don't fall in love, guys. Simple. Okay. This
telling that all of
ambience
us,
is actually
really?
really quiet. I can barely hear it, but oh well. It's only restaurant ambience. Okay. We start day 5, and we join the waiter. So that was the end of day 3. Day 4 we skipped, and now we're at the end of day 5. The waiter is most of the way into his shift. He has spent all his time either at the Golden Willow or at home. Neither of the musicians have been back to play. The apartment has slipped back into a state of disarray. The waiter's compliments have been surface level. His smile's a facade. He has done his job. No more, no less.
It's not even that. Just
The chef had asked him yesterday
people that play
if the waiter would get his... Oh, hello, robotic. The chef had asked him yesterday if the waiter would get his musician friends back. They were great for business. I'll see, the waiter replied. And he hasn't. The waiter, head down, approaches a new table with one with his notepad at the ready. Welcome to the Golden Willow. What can we get for you this evening? I could use an ear to listen. The waiter looks up. The baker sits there, smiling sheepishly. Oh, of course. Though I don't think the head chef will let me finish early. I'm sorry, do you mind waiting 15 minutes? I'm so sorry. She nods. I'll wait. 20 minutes later. The Golden Willow is closed. The lanterns have been extinguished and everyone has gone home. Everyone save the waiter and baker. Sitting at a small table at the canal's edge, the only light a shared candle. I'm sorry, she says after a silence. I wasn't sure where else to find you. I haven't seen you at the market or anywhere else. I've been working. Right. Can I tell you something? The waiter's heart flutters. Is this confession? Is it more devastating news? Of course. What is it? Dramatic pause. I'm finding music.
The all-important dramatic pause.
Would have completely killed all of us if you were like, and that's all I had so far.
Yeah.
Oh no. Wait, where is this one? What? Okay, I don't know where this song is. Hang on. I'll have another look. Let's try looking up this. Anyone got any guesses as to what she's going to say?
My first guess, she's
stuck a
not
pipe bomb
going
in his
anymore.
mailbox.
Oh, yeah. I'm the imposter.
Equal your genius.
I have a boyfriend. She's gonna say a sleeper activation code.
Complete heartbreak. My husband says so. No.
Wondered if she. We have to get in our mix.
Goodness gracious.
The accident was 5 years ago. You have to wake up.
This is a tour. You have to wake up.
Activation code 1322 Sierra
I'm not real.
Delta Tango Niner.
I'm a fictional character written by Treijim.
In the wrong game, the robot
Treijim. What kind of name is Treijim?
Who the hell is
A good one. A friendly one.
Sounds like my balls.
One that feels safe.
What?
He reaches across the table, grabs his hand, and looks him in the eyes, and she whispers,
Cornbread.
"You must finish the painter too."
Damn. It's like you're reading my script.
Looks deep into his eyes.
She said literally
I ever guess
everything
what
that
she's
people
gonna
have been
say?
saying now.
Wanna go hang out with zealots?
Want to break some
She says,
No.
I'm sorry for not
I
telling
cannot
you,
find this music for the
but
life
you're
of me.
pregnant.
Treijim, remember when I made that announcement that YouTube constantly
grabs
deletes
his
music
hand,
I chose
looks him
for
in
the
the
painter
eyes.
too?
You're pregnant.
That was
This may have what happened to you.
I don't think it's deleted. I just think my notes are bad.
I think I have to make sure I didn't make
Entirely
The name of it
This is what happens when
Isn't,
you save music on YouTube because YouTube likes to just delete music.
It's fine.
Right?
This works with no music anyway. Okay, so imagine this. Imagine this. So they're both sitting at the table. It's nighttime. There's moonlight on the canal. There's a single candle. And it's just the two of them. The music is gentle piano music. That's all. The Edrefon Music Academy is the best in the entire Confederation. My old music teacher put in a letter of recommendation for me, and I've been offered a place there. A chance to go and learn from the masters. A chance to become a famous musician and do what I truly love. But the truth is, I don't want to move. Well, I do, but I'm scared. I'm not good enough. Someone's going to notice I don't belong there. I think you're an amazing musician, the waiter offers. You play with so much care. The baker looks away. Remember the other night when I said I envy your confidence? I watched you work. You're always paying attention, always serving, always genuine. When I play, my head is like, it's like a big ball of tangled weeds. I'm always one tiny slip away from failing. She gestures with her hands, bringing the image to life. I can't stand it. And she looks at him. She looks at him as though he has the answers. She looks at him as though somehow she has tried everything in the world, and now it all depends on what he says next. The waiter thinks. He doesn't want her to go. He likes her. A lot. He wants to keep seeing her as much as possible. But to tell her to stay? That would be selfish. His mother had warned him not to ask for too much. Thank you, he says, for sharing how you feel. I think if it were me, I would perhaps try smaller steps. Maybe there's a smaller academy nearby, or local tutors you can learn from to improve your musicianship or something. I'm not sure. I'm sorry. Her gaze lingers on him before looking away. Smaller steps, she repeats. Barely audible. Right. Maybe I'm rushing things. It's up to you, the waiter quickly interjects. He doesn't want to convince her not to take this opportunity. And yet, if she were to decide to stay... She sits up suddenly and looks around at the dark streets. I should go. I'm sorry, I'm keeping you. No, it's quite all right. I enjoy talking with you, however brief our conversations are. She stands, pauses, smiles, and says goodnight before walking away into shadow. And the waiter goes home, with knots in his heart.
Ow.
My friends, at this point in the story, we have a designated break. Have a snack, rehydrate, and use the restrooms if you need to. Please be back here for the story to continue within 5 minutes. That's where the break would have been, halfway through, but we are 2/3 of the way through the script because the script is fairly start-heavy. I have less toward the end.
My hand.
Sad munching sounds.
Sad munching sounds.
No soup break.
Correctly for some reason.
No soup.
I wonder if I did get a faulty controller.
If you tell them team support, they don't support working like.
So we are actually having a break.
So quickly after you just bought it.
Broken munching.
Yeah. Have a break.
Okay.
Perfect. Take a break.
It's always that finger though.
Get some more popcorn.
Everyone needed to know.
Go get a pastry, a breakfast roll.
Let's go. I gotta put the headset on right now. I sped run.
Thanks for letting me know. Treijim, you're doing good.
I can use like an anti-static cloth and clean it and do like
I love you
everything
so far.
proper to try and get this hand to work right, and it will not go correctly for some reason.
You're telling us not to get too attached to things and then proceeding to do the complete opposite.
Maybe. I've tried to do the drumming and everything, and it just.
Right. This.
It's just. I don't know. It like once the controller, like right there, once I hold my controller for long enough and it heats up enough, it just.
Are you giving us a few minutes, Treijim? Do I have time to?
Yeah, take a few minutes.
Like no, it won't.
Okay, I'll be
It's
back
being
in about
recorded.
2
Yeah, I'm
minutes.
pretty sure it's being
Like, I have
recorded.
to hold my hand.
Tech, you
and then
recording?
let go of it, and then it will unheat itself, and it will just work.
We need new controllers.
Mr. Techno.
The index is like the only other.
Are you recording?
Yeah.
I
started, but I love these controllers.
They're not quite
I like
done yet,
fingers.
Fantastic. Not a problem. Is anyone else recording? Out of curiosity.
Who is recording?
2C, you're recording? Fantastic.
I'm recording with my brain.
Thank you.
Because the index is
That's-
How good is your brain as a recorder?
Yeah.
That's not what I was asking.
That's a good question.
I'm glad you're paying attention, but no one else can watch that.
Breaks, I can always send back right away and just be like, hey, I literally
Maybe
just got this.
maybe if you need more advancements in technology.
It's okay. Maybe this is a lot more exclusive than I originally intended.
Your warranty doesn't run out.
Apparently,
Yeah.
Grayson just wanted to share with us.
You said
a
most of the
story
other
that
tours are in
was
super
never
secrecy,
complete.
so unintentionally this is also
I
super
read the
secrecy.
They know. They know.
Everybody knows.
I didn't. I'm joking. I did. There we go. Now I can. Mine's like flashbanging everybody, by the way, or no, with this thing.
I forget.
Well, yeah, there's some people who are very right.
Over
here. These
Yeah,
chairs
this
are
one,
just
this is like a,
probably
this
right.
is the insurance from the Avatar, and I love it.
Treijim needed to retire, Byron.
I would love to see a recording of this.
But basically, he ran out of time for life things.
Oh, my neck hurts. I'm wearing this headset for a while now. I had like multiple. I went to a ball.
Was it with the group that I'm thinking of?
This.
Which one?
Is it the
Most recent?
I just got I have to like listen.
Oh, this tour? This is the one I was working on when I announced my retirement.
Is what my guess is.
Disney people. Then I also got to see.
Indeed it is.
I only spent there like 5 minutes. I got to listen to my friend sing. It was cool.
Oh, that's neat. Is it the friend that I met? Or is it a different one?
Yes, she sang. Oh,
yeah, that
she
makes
also got
sense.
to...
Her voice is fucking spectacular.
Okay. Is anybody not here?
We're starting again?
Yeah, I didn't. You're waiting on.
Does anybody look like they're AFK?
I can see if you.
Looks like Kitty's AFK.
Yeah.
Come back, guys. There you are.
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
Wake
Treijim,
up.
Byron has a question.
Yeah, behind you.
Sorry. Yes, Shane, will the appraiser return? Sheen, Byron is asking if the appraiser will return.
Right.
Is he on his break? Or is he just avoiding
I think he's gone.
PTSD?
He's gone.
I wouldn't be surprised if
Should do the appraiser too, and it should be 8 hours long.
If I was Sheen, I would also avoid that question. It is Sheen's tour. The appraiser is unique, but it's a lot of energy to run. So I do not blame him for not doing it very often. It's like the whimsy of this tour cranked up to 100 over 3+ hours.
It's nice.
Your appraiser was really nice. Oh, damn it. Like,
Yeah.
I have a more generalized question for travelers' stories in general.
I saw a appraiser with Chloe around.
Yeah, go ahead.
could a woodchuck chuck if woodchuck could chuck wood?
Good chuck wood. Yeah, that's a valid question.
What about me?
That I remember, I have a lot of memories of seeing you for the first time.
Why are characters never refereed to by name in these stories, and instead by a role or job?
That's a very good question. Weekly schedule function.
Pizza.
It's changed a lot over time, to be honest. Normally, the thing we did most was I did a tour, then Sheen did a tour the next weekend, and we just toggle back and forth. And travelers were usually trying to solve 2 tours at a time, just alternate week to week. That's obviously not something we can do now, and hasn't been done for a while, though. And there was a time when we did multiple tours randomly throughout the week, but those days are long gone. That was COVID days. Sorry, Smiles, I forgot your question. Can someone repeat it?
Why?
They hadn't
Why
answered yet.
no names, only titles? Like, why?
Oh,
Why didn't he call the characters like Steve or Bob?
welcome back.
Or Mr.
The real question, Smiles, this is something I won't answer now because it's too deep, but I will tell you this. You're asking the wrong question. The question is not why are no characters named. The question is why are only Abel and Sophia named. That's the question. Okay, let's get back into it.
Interesting.
Interesting. So, story's gone a little bit dark. It's going to pick up. This is a pick-up moment. This is one of my favorite parts. Day 8. So we just finished A5, so 2 days just by. Loading now. Wait, that doesn't look like the right video. What the heck is this?
What the
Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulty this. Loading. Need to pause it. There we go. Okay. I paused it, don't worry. 3 days later, the waiter is awoken mid-morning, excuse me, by something out of the ordinary. Fearing a burglar, and sees the front door wide open. "Where's my good shoes?" comes a familiar voice from upstairs. There's stomping. An elderly gentleman descends the staircase. He stops when he sees the waiter awake. The two look at one another. "Where are my good shoes?" The waiter laughs. "Not even a good morning, or I'm home now." The grandfather wiped his moustache and sniffs. "You've been moving my things around, I see. I don't recall giving you permission." "This place was filthy, Grandpa. I did some cleaning." "Cleaning?" The grandfather stomps the rest of the way to the ground floor. "I see. And where did you clean my good shoes off to?" "All your shoes are by the door." The grandfather looks down at the shoes neatly lined up beside him and wipes his moustache again. "So they are." He looks up, and his face bananas into a wide smile. "Good morning, I'm home." Not 5 minutes later, and the two of them are sharing coffee in the kitchen. Everyone loves Grandpa. "But trains were delayed again, I tell you. They used to run on time every time. Not a train was late when I was your age. Ephrata to Fashora, Columor to Hradia, didn't matter." Anyway, how's your mother holding up?" "She's fine. I sent her a letter yesterday." "And I hope my head chef isn't working you too hard. I think he was a slaver in a past life." "It was a little rocky to begin with, but we get along just fine now." The grandfather wipes his moustache this time to clear it of milk froth. "Everything all right with you?" The waiter tries to hide his surprise. His grandfather was always shrewd. He wouldn't have been able to hide anything from him for long. "I'm just adjusting to city life. It's very different," he lies. And the two talk the morning away. Afterwards, the grandson shows his grandfather where he moved everything, and then it's time for them to go to work. The waiter enjoys making the walk with company, for a change. That's Grandpa.
I like Grandpa.
Grandpa's saying seems like a cool dude.
Everyone loves Grandpa.
Much more talkative than the previous Grandpa.
Sure, talkative than the previous. Gramps and Grandpa? How dare you? Think all old people are the same?
No, I think maybe he's another reincarnation. Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe
Is
all
the
old
waiter's
people are the
grandpa
same.
secretly named Treijim?
Maybe reincarnation is the central theme pack? That's crazy.
Yeah,
Did you have any ideas for like a specific that he would call Grandpa, or would it be just Grandpa?
Timey-wimey bullshit.
I have Grandpa for now. That was definitely subject to change because what people call members of their family definitely changes the cultural feel of a setting. So that was something that I would have refocused on later. This is first draft stuff, so I was just getting ideas out.
grandfather.
This is
Grandfather.
first draft? Damn.
This is first draft, yeah.
I mean, still so much detail for first draft.
Yeah.
This is a good fucking first
Yeah, this feels like it's already been edited a bit.
Damn. Go Treijim.
I mean, I have fixed a couple of typos, but other than that, no typos.
During your process, do you kind of find yourself almost editing, even though it's the first draft, and then kind of catch yourself like, no, it's a first draft?
Sometimes. I will allow myself if it's small and very important. Like, if I'm writing...
Treijim would be an amazing writer.
I don't know, let's say... so the silver pin I mentioned from earlier, right, that was on the tie. If I came up with that on the spot, I was like, okay, I need like a plot item here, and write silver pin, and then I'm like, actually, golden willow, I want it to be gold, and then I just change it to gold. That kind of like small editing I will do on the spot, especially if it feels significant, but I don't allow myself to linger on first draft stuff. It's not a good use of time, in my opinion. That's what second draft is for, and third and fourth and fifth and sixth.
Precisely.
Okay, so day 8, we're still on. We return to the Golden Willow, and there is the second waiting minigame. So, same minigame I mentioned before, the waiting, got the tables, the kitchen is the antagonistic force, I suppose, and everyone else plays the wait staff and customers. And then I need the music, which I think is this one. Loading now. Okay. So, halfway into his shift, the waiter takes a break. He looks for the buskers. He isn't sure why he expected them to come tonight. The past 3 days have been dull, and his grandfather's appearance has brightened everything. Perhaps he expected that brightness to last. He sits by the canal, watching fireflies dance across dark waters. Aye! The waiter turns to see the busker approaching, waving at him. He doesn't seem his cheery self, but he is carrying his instrument. Is it too late to start playing? The waiter stands. Not at all, but where is your sister? The busker looks beside himself, as though expecting her to be standing right there. She's not well, he says flatly. Oh, is there something I can do? Aye, you can visit her before she leaves, you dolt. Pardon me? She leaves in 2 days. She talks about you a lot, and I don't think I haven't noticed how you two spend time together. You can either wallow at the willow like a wally or let her go, or you can climb down off your chariot and tell her how you feel. My chariot? The busker laughs. Figure of speech, it's your choice. I've said my piece. And he begins to play as he weaves his way between the tables, filling the evening air with spirited music. The waiter's legs carry him to the kitchen. The chef notices him standing there. What is it? He says sharply. The waiter's tongue carries the words to his lips. I need to leave early. Leave early? What makes you think I'll let you do that? We've got half the night to get through. You think I'm gonna... What's going on? His grandfather looms over them both, a friendly tower. I need to leave early, the waiter says to him. Please. The grandfather frowns and opens his mouth, but he pauses as he spots something. He looks at the silver flower pin on the waiter's vest. The old man's harshness melts away. Let him go, he says. He can make it up another night. And he heads back into the fray. Let him go! The chef barks after the man that doubles his stature, and the conversation is lost in the clamor of the kitchen. The waiter takes the opportunity and leaves, asking himself what he's doing as he makes the walk to her house. Perfect fade out. Thank you. Okay. Next scene. Her house. Must find music. This one. Okay. This scene, I'll be honest, I'm very unhappy with it. But I'll read it anyway. There are no lights in the windows of the house by the canal. The waiter knocks on the door and stands back, and he waits. A small boat bumps appear in the water. Crickets buzz, then stop. The night air is still. This is a waste of time, the waiter tells himself. Making this difficult, I should leave. And he begins to leave. Who is it? He stops. She peers out from the dark, the door ajar. It's me. And then we go inside. The house is stuffy. The shutters are closed tight, closing and music sheets are strewn about the furniture. Only a single candle burns low on a small table before a sofa. The baker begins to tidy up. I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting anyone. My brother has been so messy lately. I wish he'd leave his shoes by the door. The waiter barely manages to get a question in. How are you feeling? Me? Oh, I'm fine. There's some bread on the counter. Thank you. The waiter makes his way to the counter and picks up a bagel. But I didn't come here to eat. I came to make sure you're all right. She pauses for a moment, catches her breath and looks at him. Yeah, I'm all right. Please, sit down, the waiter insists, taking a seat on the sofa. He bites into the bagel. It's stale. Can we talk? Talk? The baker places a ball of clothing down. Sure. What are we talking about? About the academy. Right. The academy. She sits up unusually straight and grips her own knees briefly. I've been thinking about that, and I think you were right. I'm not good enough for the academy. I should just... And she waves her hands in the air. Stay here and be a baker my whole life. That's what Ma would have wanted. It's what my brother wants. So, that's what I'll do. The waiter says nothing. He wants to tell her that isn't what he meant. He wants to tell her to go. He wants her to stay. He wants to tell her that he wants to see her more. He wants to tell her how much he cares. But he doesn't. He doesn't smile, nor does he offer words of reassurance, nor does he take her hand. She looks at him. I thought you'd be... And she waves her hand in the air again. I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm not... doing so well. The waiter feels a twitch in his arm. His body tells him to move, to comfort her. His mind tells him to be cautious, to not give her any reason to dislike him. What about the future? In a year or two? You'd be so much more practiced by then, and you could spend all that time preparing. The baker slowly leans back into the sofa. He wishes he could read her mind. Is she mad at him? Does she blame him? Does she even notice how conflicted he is? Then a strange noise fills the quiet room. A stifled, strained whimper. And as the waiter looks for the source, he sees the baker sobbing into her own hands. "I'm sorry," he says, but his throat is too dry and the words are never voiced. He shifts beside her and puts an arm around her, feeling her shudder with every gasp. And that's the end of day 8.
Ow, my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You
This
said
is,
you said you didn't like this one or like this part.
I
Were you
didn't.
thinking of trying to do something else? Or like, what were you thinking of changing?
I originally had a different version of this, where she got angry at him. That's the only part that I've rewritten entirely in this whole script. I came back and I thought that really isn't her character. She's going to internalize it, not externalize it. That's her character. So I rewrote it with that in mind, but probably because I rewrote it with such a big change, it just, in my mind, it stands out. That's probably what it is. I'm not sure that there's anything objectively wrong with it I can say. It's just my knowledge of it, I think.
Did you think about making kind of like this part up to everyone else on where it splits into wherever it goes to the good ending or bad ending? Like where they make a decision on what he does or says?
I will... The endings and the alternate paths and stuff, I'll explain later once I get through the script. Because the alternate paths and choices and stuff aren't in the script, they're over in other documents. So to save myself from jumping around a lot, I'll cover that stuff at the end. Well, not the end, but after this. Okay. We go to day 9. I find the new music. We've had enough time to sit here and feel broken.
I feel literally broken. That was so emotional. Ow.
That was rough. But I get how the waiter's feeling. Once again, you wrote that scene very well. Burb.
Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Well, like it?
Well.
Appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoyed it, sicko.
Understand and appreciate.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't have specific music in mind, so what I'll need you to picture, audially picture, is first of all, nothing, but after the first paragraph, I want you to picture the quietness of morning birds, and that's all. But after this first paragraph. Day 9. Only this and day 10 left. The waiter wakes up from a strange dream. He dreamt that he had to walk on the railroad to a grand city. He couldn't walk beside the rail because it was on a tall bridge above an ocean, so he had to walk on the tracks. He could see the city ahead, far in the distance, but with every step came uncertainty, for he didn't know when the train would come. He didn't know how much time he had left. The waiter opens his eyes. The light is soft. Birds chirp gently. Well, he thinks, time for breakfast. And he sits up on his couch. Wait. No, this isn't his couch. This isn't his grandfather's house. This is the baker's house. The baker is asleep beside him. They are both right where they were before they fell asleep.
Aww.
Then a door slams upstairs and the waiter jumps. Of course, her brother must be home. Good morning. She's awake and looking at him. Oh, good morning. I guess we fell asleep. How are you feeling? Better. She offers a small smile. Better than last night. Thank you for visiting. But shouldn't you be going to work? Going to work? He looks around for the clock. Oh no, is that the time? He jumps to his feet. I'm sorry, I have to go. She waves him away and laughs. It's fine, I'm fine. I feel better, really. Just come back later. I'm leaving tomorrow. The waiter's heart dips as he remembers everything. Right. Well, I have to go to work. I'm sorry. I'll come back afterward, I promise. All right. Then we change scene. We make our way back to the Golden Willow. He slept most of the day away. There is the third and final waiting minigame here. Though given the point in the story, probably the most tense minigame of the three, I would imagine. Since we're at like a bit of a crossroads, so to speak. Okay. Is there music for this part? It doesn't say. We'll just say it in silence. During the entire shift, the waiter's mind is elsewhere. Part of him really wants her to decide to stay. But it's the same part of him that he despises. His own selfishness. For hours, he thinks about what he's going to say to her. He guesses what she might say to him. Finally, the time comes for him to leave, and he heads to her and head her to her house. But the waiter is approached by the chef, and he looks dour. I need you to stay behind tonight and clean up. The chef gestures aggressively toward the kitchens. You need to make up early. You need to make up for leaving early yesterday. Stay behind? Yeah, stay behind. You left halfway through your shift yesterday. This is a job, not a hobby. If you're not here, someone has to cover for you. You gotta make it up to your co-workers. The waiter looks about for his grandfather. He can't stay behind. He has to go. But his objections fall on deaf ears. He is forced to remain behind for another hour before being allowed to go.
That's rough.
That's life. And then we go to the next scene, back to her house, which is a song called that. Please be in the list. There it is. Okay. Next song. Next scene. Word story beat 16 of 18. Getting close now. Okay. The streets are bathed in the light of the blood moon. Despite the hours of thought the waiter put into what they might talk about tonight, all the guesses, all the words and thoughts and feelings fall away with every step. The windows to the baker's house are aglow. The waiter knocks and she answers, smiling. And inside, a supper prepared. A jug of honey mead, a shallow bowl of cheese, sausage and olives, roast vegetables, cookies and nuts and dried fruits. Her brother the busker is there, snacking away until she shoos him off. I think the decision was plaguing me, the baker says as she dishes out vegetables. I've always been one to worry myself sick. Choosing between staying and going was sausage and olives. You sound as though you've made up your mind, the waiter says, hesitantly, biting into cheese to help mask his expression. I have. She pauses before sitting back down and continuing to eat. I want to thank you properly. I guess that's the main reason for this food. I love my brother dearly, but he's not good at giving to think. He just sort of throws his opinions at me and leaves me to deal with it, but having you here last night, it helped a lot. I've thought a lot about my future. The waiter can feel his mind slow down. He can tell. He can tell what he's decided. I have to try, she says. I have to try the academy, at the very least, right? I can't let my fear rule me. I'm not perfect. I'll never be perfect. So that's not an excuse not to try. A silence lingers. The waiter busies himself with dried fruit, chewing slowly, buying time. She's leaving. She's leaving, you idiot. She's leaving. He notices her looking at him from the corner of his eye. Say something. She wants you to say something. I'm happy for you. I hope your dream comes true, he says, putting on his work face. She smiles, but it's not really a smile. I suppose this is goodbye. I suppose so. He takes a detour on his walk home. He sits on a bench overlooking the canal and, looking up at the blood moon, he breaks down. Day 9. 1 left. What have we got? I've got 2.5 pages of dialogue, narration. That's it. Yeah. Okay. I'm good. Everything's fine. Day 10.
Yeah, just take it easy, man.
We are back at the Golden Willow. The waiter loses himself in his next shift. He already said goodbye. She's probably left by now. She would be on a night train to Edrefana. She's probably asleep by a window seat, her guitar case beside her. She's probably not thinking about him. She's probably never going to. She's going to forget about him. She's gone. She's never coming back. The waiter drops a glass, which shatters on the stone floor. Patrons gasp. The chef comes rushing out, followed by the waiter's grandfather. "Yeah, you'll pay for that one!" The chef hisses through gritted teeth, but the grandfather pushes in front of him, keeping the chef at bay with an open hand. "Take your break now," the grandfather says in that calm yet strong tone of his. The waiter nods and takes a seat at the edge of the light. He looks down at his own trembling hands. What's wrong with him? He's never felt anything like this before. It consumes him. What? What consumes him? What is it? It's her. She chose something that wasn't him. She chose her own dream. What are his dreams? Waiting on customers? What a pathetic dream. No wonder she left. Finished already? The waiter looks up. The busker stands there, leaning against a post, arms folded. No, I'm just on my break. Pretty surprising, the busker says, glancing away in that I know something you don't way of his. I thought you would have taken the night off, given how much she's been asking to see you. She wants to say goodbye. Properly. What? She's asking after... She hasn't left? No, you idiot. She changed her train to the latest one and leaves in an hour. He starts to walk away and looks back at the waiter. Are you coming or not? She wants to tell me something. She changed her mind. No. She just wants a proper goodbye. Or she wants to be convinced to stay. The waiter jumps to his feet. I need to ask my grandpa, but I'm sure he'll let me go. And he runs aside. He finds his grandfather, speaking with the chef. Grandpa, I'm sorry. I need to leave early again. The chef's face turns red. Again? The grandfather guides his grandson outside. Let's talk, he says, and they stand beneath the trellis in the moonlight. That pin. Do you know where it came from? The grandfather gestures to the small silver flower pinned to the waiter's vest. When your father fell in love with my daughter, he didn't just ask for her hand in marriage. He asked for my permission, too. He asked me with that pin. The old man gives a tight-lipped smile, and he looks away. I didn't want to let her go. Not because of any doubt in his character. Your father was a great man, and your mother loves him deeply. How selfish of an old man, He shakes his head, a sparkle appearing in the corner of his eye. But I thought about it for a long time. I wanted to respect their love and their decision, and I wanted to respect his asking of me. So, in time, I decided to do what was best. I decided to let her go, and it was the hardest decision I ever made. Far more taxing than anything ever to do with this restaurant. The waiter looks down at the silver pin. He'd never heard any of this before. He heard the story of how his parents met, where it happened, what they said to one another, but not this. Moments pass, and they meet eyes. You've grown up so much. Go, he says. Go. And the waiter runs faster than he's ever ran before.
Go, man, go.
Okay.
Fly, you fool.
Fly.
Very much so. Ah, my heart. Ah. Very.
Okay, let's see.
Man,
Let's
I
see.
wish I had more popcorn.
My apologies. Okay.
I really thought.
Which one? Which one? This one. And this one. This one. Okay. Pause. All right.
It's yours.
So, we are back. In the train station. At this point, just mildly busy train station ambience. The baker stands in a near-empty station, almost dwarfed by all her luggage and guitar case. There are no trains here yet. She sees the waiter, and her face lights up. You made it, she says, as the busker and waiter join her. I wanted to say goodbye properly, the waiter says. And then he realizes he isn't quite sure what that means. Did she want a formal farewell? A hug? A kiss? So, I do hope your train ride is enjoyable. I hope the capital and academy treats you well. And I do hope to see you again. Ha! The busker guffaws. That's not how you say goodbye. Let's do it our way. And he pulls out his violin, nods at his sister, moves her guitar from the case, and they begin to play. The waiter watches and smiles uncontrollably. He is taken back to the day they met, which feels so far away now. That warm sun, that clear sky, the children playing nearby. The waiter had stood, breakfast in hand, and looked down the street. But he didn't see the street. He saw her green dress, her dark hair. He saw her, and his heart sank. I have a confession to make. I recall telling you that this was going to be the story of how I changed. That was perhaps a little misleading. I am still very much the same person. No, I am more myself than I was. My heart sings two songs. One of longing for love, for wealth, for adventure, and one of caution, of fear and doubt. A song which, for the longest time, felt like a betrayal of the first song. But now, I see that this is not the case at all. I realize it is the heart's nature to want to give up on dreams, because it doesn't want to lose everything it has gained. Sometimes I indulged this fear, and sometimes I pretended it didn't exist. But once I started listening to my heart, I understood what it had to say to me. My heart is afraid of suffering, and yet the fear of suffering hurts more than the suffering itself. And my heart tells me this. We will see one another again. I saw it in her eyes. We will meet again. And the train slowly departs. My friends, welcome to the neutral ending of The Waiter. At least I think that was the neutral ending. I'm not actually sure. That's just the ending I have written. So
it feels pretty neutral to me.
Seems pretty cheery.
Like
it's so sweet, but it hurts at the same time. That's pretty neutral to me.
To be fair, it's more neutral than the Prince ending. Let's be real here.
That's very true. This is not a story about death. It's something worse.
Pilot's neutral.
Heartbreak.
More neutral than the Prince or the agent.
Or the agent, that's true.
Because
the agent was cyberpunk Blade Runner, the Prince was dark fantasy. This one is just
It's a romance novel.
fuck your heart.
I like how it's a bit smaller scale.
Fuck your feelings. It's a very small scale, yeah.
Okay.
But you know,
not every story needs to be something grand.
Absolutely. I think there were only like 8
My hand
like main locations in the whole story or something like that. Not many. It's like the train station, the restaurant, his apartment, her apartment, the marketplace.
Really,
There's like very few actual locations. Okay. Let's talk endings. As I said, that's the only ending I've written. I don't know which ending it is, but it's not the good ending. What I have, let's see, what have I got here? I have some ideas. I'm not sure which is bad, neutral, or good. I have some worse endings could be that she actually decides to stay which is arguably not the best decision for her. Or, possibly worse, that the waiter just gives up on her and convinces himself that he doesn't deserve her anyway. He doesn't go to see her at the end. That could also be a bad ending.
That would be a bad ending. Because nobody's
Yeah.
Bad
That
ending
just-
A and bad ending B.
That breaks
Because that would be
everyone's
he
hearts.
starts off in a mentally worse place than when he started the tour. Like he doesn't grow, he diminishes. I also have possibly a different version of the neutral ending. Maybe has to do with quests. During the last shift, when his grandfather lets him go, maybe there's something that determines he doesn't take the pin, which means he does not get away from the last shift. Maybe that's neutral, maybe that's a bad ending. But that's also another idea that could have happened. Probably a more... I mean, I guess they're all painful in different ways, but not being able to get away from the last shift, not having that final goodbye, would be like
More of a, damn
the pain of the
it.
unknown. Yeah,
Damn it.
exactly.
Versus.
Wait, or he goes anyway
I feel
and loses his job. That would
I feel
really
like
suck.
if they tried to go with that
Hold on.
ending, it would kind of conflict with the nature of the grandpa if he witnessed that.
True.
Yeah, well, the grandfather. The idea was that the grandfather only let him go because he saw the pin and he was reminded of what he did with his daughter. It's quite possible that if he didn't see the pin, just being caught up in the moment would be like, no, you got to stay. That was the idea behind that one.
I like that.
The other endings I have, it's also possible that the ending we just heard was the best possible ending, because sometimes, even though it's a love story, ending up together isn't the best outcome. Sometimes it's not about... How do I say this? It's like, it's not about... A successful relationship isn't always a lasting one. A relationship can start and end, however brief, and still be successful.
To me, it sounded like... It honestly sounded very close to good ending material, because she still wants to see him. They're going to keep in touch. And, you know...
There was definitely an undercurrent of hopefulness.
Exactly, which
Absolutely.
feels like a good ending for me.
And I would have embellished it a lot more if I decided to use that for the good ending.
Of course.
If it was kept as
there's
a good
also-
ending, I feel like leaving it as like a very bittersweet would have been the best.
Yeah, I didn't want to do a story where just, oh, he meets someone and they fall in love and then, like, I wanted it to be, I don't know, I just wanted to make you guys suffer, I guess.
And that he did.
Your
That's
sadistic
a
tendencies.
brilliant-
It wasn't even a real tour, I was just reading the script. Yeah,
And
that's all the ending ideas I
like a
had. Let
real
me see what I
tour,
meant
man.
for paths.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
It's
glad
felt
you
like a real
enjoyed it,
tour
because
just
that's
without the running around.
first and last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, less running around.
Reality, sitting in a traveler's tour is basically just watching a movie from the third person perspective, so it's not entirely different.
Yeah, basically.
Damn.
I mean,
Yeah. And there's
it was
also
very theater.
possibly there's possibly another scene I was going to have, another path where, depending on things you do, like quests and stuff like that, the chef, the little thunderball guy, could have his own little redemption arc as well. I thought that would be a nice little, oh, excuse me, a nice little side story thing that could have happened.
Yeah.
He didn't really strike me
He's
as
definitely
being
a
just
compact thundercloud.
strict.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't want him to be one-dimensional.
He's not that bad.
He's just a boss. The chef. Oh god, I would die if I had to do that voice all the time.
Yes. Become as mobile air raid siren.
Okay, what else can I talk about? Questions, thoughts, guys?
Okay.
Where choices would have been.
I'm gonna get a bit closer. Choices. So the current plan I had, the plan I had when I wrote this, was that it was only the outcomes of the quests that changed the story, because there are 4 quests, 3 of which are repeated. So there's plenty of room for, I guess, variability. It was just a matter of how do I make sense so that, you know, if you fail the marketplace quest, that actually affects the story. It's like that kind of thing. Like maybe failing the marketplace quest puts the chef in a worse mood, so that makes him, you know, stop the waiter more. Just sort of applying the logic to the overall story was one of the difficult parts. So it was only going to be the 4 quests.
Ooh. The silver pin. Places where the waiter could have lost the silver pin, so it doesn't trigger that final set of events.
He could have lost it. He could have also not originally picked it up, because he picks it up, I think, after the first quest.
Yeah. I think
No, my mistake. It's before the first quest.
No, it was before.
Maybe he could have lost it on the first quest or something, yeah. Kind of like how the prince loses the sword.
Like, when
It was when he was tidying up.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking like maybe
Yes,
if
true.
he was around the baker's house, could have given it to her as a keepsake, but then that backfires by not triggering that.
Absolutely. You guys have some good ideas.
Not gonna happen.
Any of those things could have been possible.
That could easily cascade into a bad ending, where he just finds the pin at the train station and she's gone. Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that'd hurt.
Oh, damn.
That'd hurt.
He puts the pin in his heart where it belongs.
Ow.
Man.
Man.
Yeah, man.
Oh
man.
Just the award ceremonies at the Marine Corps.
I love bittersweet movies.
That's what I went to too. Slam it into their chest.
I have a question, Treijim.
Yes, Sheen.
So you may not be able to answer this in a way because it may be too spicy over lore wise, but the Blood Moon and Abel is what does Abel is not present in the tour. Is that true?
Not in a way. So one thought I had was that perhaps through some clever loans, you could realize that because the waiter is obviously a reincarnation because he's the main character. So perhaps the thoughts that the waiter has about himself that are self-disparaging could be fed from Abel. That's one angle, but that would have been quite a meta angle, because this story felt like if there was possibly. I know you did have some ideas like that.
I think we talked about Abel being some sort of thing rather
devil
than
on the shoulder. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was. You're probably right. It was probably the one that you said. I'm just looking at my notes here. Yeah, that's the only idea I had for Abel. Reason being that anything I could think of that brought Abel in just detracted too much from the tone of the story. It was very much like a very down-to-earth story, and Abel is like up above Earth.
That's a good way of putting it.
Abel's up there and Claude
Give him the old smackdown.
Exactly, Clad Kukulin.
No, give him the smackdown.
No, Abel
one day,
Abel
maybe
owns
one
the
day.
zealots across the street.
Oh my god, I'm leaving.
Oh no, they're gonna open a chain. Oh no, the small family business.
Bye.
How...
Oh no, the small family business.
Last thing you'll ever say to me.
I'm glad the zealots are stuck
Yeah.
around. That's great. I'm glad they're succeeding. I'm happy for their citizens.
I'm sorry, but also speaking of terrible things, didn't we briefly entertain the idea of a bad ending where we find out that her train like crashes?
Oh god.
Did we?
Oh my.
I didn't write that down. So if we did, I didn't record it. It's possible.
No,
We come up with the worst ideas. Yeah.
See, she came up with that idea and Treijim immediately threw it in his mental trash bin.
What's the Spider-Man move?
You know, in Spider-Man 2004, 2002,
and then her train crashed.
One train scene.
I haven't seen.
Come on, bro.
I don't watch superhero movies. I don't know.
You know, as horrible as that would be,
Yeah, like 20 years ago.
I don't think it would work because we would know
the
what
train
happens, and it would just, yeah, that wouldn't work because as impactful as that is, a little bit out of place with the tone of the story. It's we would know that happens, and we would just avoid anything that involves her leaving. If we witness that one time.
Also, I wanted all the endings to come to fruition fully at the end of day 10. I didn't want anything beyond that. So that also would have gone against that.
What if he got on a train and the lecturer looked at him and was like, a spark of recognition.
You look like my son.
Oh yeah, no.
Could it be?
What if a bad ending?
Yeah,
That's not the good ending, that's the, like...
old man story.
Do you have time for an old man story?
No, that's the secret.
And there you go.
No, that's the secret
The
twist ending.
painter, the archaeologist,
This
all one.
Bro.
The secret ending. The secret
The crossover ending.
Break the narrative.
Joins the train and works as a ticket holder.
Like the Silent Hill
To then be like, oh yes,
No,
I
the
love
Silent
the
Hill
idea.
dog ending.
I love that
like
idea.
a random bad ending, but if she ends up staying, and
Mhm.
but because she works at the shop and she's not really following her dream, is that he basically slowly watches her degrade more and more instead of being happy and kind of like she gives.
I
up
wouldn't describe all that
entirely.
because that would go beyond day 10. What I would probably do is just the moment where she decides to stay, the way it's conveyed, the music I play, the thoughts behind it would demonstrate that that's probably what's going to happen. Like she's going to be miserable in this, rather than actually giving you the actual events. That's probably what I'd do. Like she's staying, but you can tell that she's giving up on her dream because of it, and she's going to be unhappy as a consequence.
And it's very much not good.
Yeah.
Loveless marriage ending.
Jesus Christ.
Any more questions, guys? Comments, insights, thoughts?
Insects?
I can already think of like 3
Insights.
When can we expect the giant mech?
Painter 2. Probably.
Oh.
Young Sheen.
When do we get the
Clear-
competition?
The Painter story has mechs in it, that's not a surprise. What do you mean?
Clearly, the shop had a rat under his hat the whole time.
It's
So
in the
that's the
posters.
mech.
It's
The
in
mech
the,
where?
the
Ratatouille is a
freaking
mech.
idea and concept of the theme of the whole freaking.
So
Mm.
that's
Treijim.
going with.
Did you
Yes.
have a favorite part when you were writing?
Yeah.
Now that I've reread it, there are some parts that I like. There are various parts I like, but for very different reasons. So there are parts that I like because I think they're effective, not because they're pleasant. But then there are other parts that, like the moment they meet, I really like. I really like the description of the first pastry. I really like the characters of, even though they're secondary, the grandfather and the chef. I really like their characterizations, and the busker. There's a lot of strong characters in this, in my humble opinion.
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah.
Just the grandfather's sass. I just chuckled while I wrote that. It was just very fun.
Yeah. The sass. You gotta love it.
I think
Very
the
sassy.
grandfather having the heart-to-heart with the waiter was my favorite part.
Yeah.
That was good.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Where are my good shoes?
There was a snake
So
in my
they are.
boot.
Now we can quote stuff from this tour, and people will be like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
Here's a question for people. Unfortunately, this is not something that can happen. You can't learn anything from this tour, but if you could, what would you learn now that you've heard that?
The pin might be a high traffic one.
The pin.
The silver pin? Get out of here.
Yes.
The
Just the
violin,
instant turn down, man.
yeah, the silver pin.
Could you repeat the question?
How about the pastry?
What would you
learn
learn
the pastry
from this tour?
The menu.
The menu.
The menu,
Oh, yeah, the
yes.
menu.
The pastry? You can't learn the pastry.
Yeah, imagine.
Why not?
I imagine that would be interesting if you actually had like a menu in the minigame.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, there would have been an actual
It
menu.
would have been possible.
The chef's hat. A menu.
How they
Yeah.
learn.
The instruments.
Wait, the chef's hat?
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
The chef's hat.
Chef.
Sure, yeah. The guitar, the violin, yeah.
Someone else said.
What about the busker signs? A whole bunch of names that don't make sense to you guys.
The busker signs.
Or the clocks. The clocks that tell the time. Lots of learnable things. You can't really hold. Actually, there's household clock. Never mind.
Uses
Grandpa's shoes?
I forget.
your nouns.
The good shoes.
Grandpa's shoes. You're gonna
Versace,
steal shoes
what's
from
that?
him.
Where are my good shoes?
The presence of good shoes
Damn,
implies the presence of
Granddaddy
bad
balls.
shoes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vice presence of evil shoes.
Yeah.
Evil
Can you
play with
imagine
these
all
shoes.
the special orders at the bar after you finish your first showing of this tour?
True.
It'd be like
Yeah,
that
a lot
Lord
of
the Rings meme, the army approaching as you run forward.
Maybe.
And so it
Abel's
begins.
presence is felt
This is where the fun begins.
when he can't find his good shoes. He has to wear his bad shoes.
He can't find his Jordans. The bad ending, the waiter creases the
Can't find his
granddad's
Vans.
Jordan.
Can't find his Crocs. Wait, who asked the question about the time setting? Who asked the question about the time period?
Grandpa's Jordan's
Oh, yeah.
fake.
Who asked the time period question?
Are they still here?
Oh.
Oh, Tusi? Is that you?
Yeah.
What do you think now? Was it evident enough in the story itself?
Grandpa.
Kind of like an older, kind of like Germanic town almost.
Mm-hmm. How much older? Mm-hmm.
Deco
Early 1800s would be my guess.
Victorian.
Deco era.
There have been trains at that point?
No, I think it's Deco era.
There was
After the
Yeah, late 1700s.
there was a
That's
chauffeur
what I'm
and
saying.
the script didn't mention any horses in the city, so.
Because I'm not really sure what to call it.
That's steam power, please.
Yeah.
During area
They
where you
had
have like
steam power.
steam
They
pumps or
didn't have light bulbs.
Electric lights were never
Steam pump.
described.
Yeah, no light
So
bulbs,
maybe it
that's
would
right.
be-
Steam, but no electricity.
No electricity.
Diesel.
Maybe it
You
was.
also played.
Full electricity.
You also played.
Maybe it was late 1600s, early
Weird
1700s.
moments out.
Before, yeah, I mean this all sounds pretty accurate to me. Yeah, you guys got it spot on. That's pretty much it.
You say countryside.
1999.
Countryside?
I would think kind of like.
No, not
Hey, that was the year I was born.
Wide, long valleys between everything.
Yeah.
Mountains,
Well, with the ocean on one side. Yeah. Electricity. Grandpa, is that you? Do you have your bad shoes on?
Oh yeah, no. Gramps had
I
his
found them
bad shoes
outside.
on when he caused Time Crash Zero.
Ombudsman was wearing them.
Graham's bad shoes, Graham's good shoes. Someone make that meme comparison.
Graham's mediocre shoes.
Hey Treijim, one thing I really liked about the story is
Yeah.
you did it a little you did it a little bit in the Prince with setting descriptions, like the market, the town that we walk through. That description always stays in my mind. But in this story, you really went with the dust in the air, with the glowing orbs, the fireflies, the boat bumping against the dock. That was all just phenomenal. Really, really, that immersed me. I'm pretty sure that immersed everyone as well.
Yeah, that was.
And alliteration. Good use of alliteration.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my favorite line. Hang on, alliteration. You can either wally at the willow like a wally. And the busker said that.
I wish I was here early. Damn it.
The busker was
busker-
fucking
Nice.
amazing.
Is the busker Irish?
The bus.
Loved him.
Yeah, it was like an Irish accent. My attempt. An Irish accent.
Your
You nailed
Irish
it. It was
fucking
beautiful.
Awesome, I'm not gonna lie.
I wish I
That
knew
was
the
really
busker.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
He seems so nice.
You want to what?
Yeah, he
You don't
seems
need a
like
friend
that
like
friend
the
that gives you a kick in the ass when you need it.
I said I wish I knew the busker.
Like, look,
He
you.
seems so cool.
Get out there. Get out there.
Yeah, basically.
Get out there and show him who's boss.
Climb down off your chariot and tell her how you feel.
My chariot?
I do hope the busker
If I may.
becomes
That's what he said to him.
character at some point. He said
The who?
Chariots of Fire.
the busker.
The busker. Yeah, look.
Have the busker show up.
Busking.
Sharing this, I feel so bittersweet because I mean I hope it's clear that my heart is in this story, but
You could make the
it's just not going to be
busker have a
finished.
character at the what is it called? The
Loan the
Curious.
busker, Kitty said.
refuge.
That's
Yeah, you
actually
make the
good.
busker
So-
a character at the refuge.
With
I would make
Yeah.
all the characters at the refuge. That's up to Sheen.
That's- Oh,
so
wait,
with
let's-
this
that's
actually a
being
brilliant
story
idea.
that
Okay, so who's writing that immediately?
Sheen, write that down.
yes, so with
You
this
go.
being a story that isn't going to like it isn't going to be continued.
Write down
anymore.
you got all the characters.
Right, it's kind of like this.
Oh
everything's
yeah,
just-
okay.
This one's just kind of.
If the Gramps
Yeah.
is in
So
here,
with
I mean, there is a
you-
restaurant
you've
there.
got
So,
to mention his shoes.
With this being a difference of how
like,
most
"What about my
other scripts are
shoes?"
really held in a lot of secrecy, compared to this one being kind of like all of us hearing your different thought processes and how it was supposed to go. I'm kind of curious on how you feel with all of us talking to all of us through what you were going to do, and having different thoughts come from us.
Oops,
And
I
like, how do you feel with all of that, and kind of hearing what we
something.
we see and hear from what you just described to us?
How do I feel about it? I feel two ways. On the one hand, I feel I had a lot of fun doing this and I enjoyed it, and I feel like it's the least I can do. Like, it wasn't my intention to ever announce it to her and then cancel it, and I thought, I've got to give him something. And I thought, why not just give him everything? Everything but the world, that is. And so on the one hand, I really enjoyed that, and I loved, no offense, making you guys cry or laugh or whatever, like all the roller coaster that you went through this tour. I was there with you, do not worry. Unfortunately, a lot of the stuff is inspired by real life events.
Yeah, I can't do that.
So that's probably why it's so close to my heart. On the other hand, there is a lot of like, I don't know, like, I'm probably always going to feel guilty that I don't get to finish this tour, I think. And I know that none of you guys are going to come up and have a go at me for that. Like, this comes from me and my own expectations of myself. I just feel bad that I'm not going to finish this tour.
That's understandable.
Completely understand that.
I totally get that from
quite well though, with
Yeah.
basically giving us this insight.
Yeah. Well, who, someone's got a replacement one day,
Know what?
Sorry,
I know.
Lord. Are you saying that we're going to be making the tour for you?
I don't think
No,
anyone-
No, I'm just saying, like, look, this is the first time we're saying anything public about it, but, I mean, it should be kind of obvious anyway. We're not going to have Sheen carry the storytelling on his own indefinitely. We're going to need another tour guide soon.
Yep.
I sort of found a guy that sounds like both of you when you put on your narrator
I wonder
voice,
who that could be.
but couldn't figure out who he is, and I kind of lost him. So I'm not sure you guys.
Thanks, Grandpa. Senile as ever.
I have a few suspicions. Suspicion.
Write the name down if you find it again.
Suspicion about your suspicions.
In case you didn't hear,
I guess a more
what Treijim was
generalized
trying.
question, as are many of my questions.
Hold that thought,
Go
Gene.
ahead. Yeah, sure. It's okay.
This is
Go ahead.
more of a question about your writing style. What kind of order do you write things in? Do you start at the beginning, come up with a concept, start from the middle, etc.?
Just in general, not specifically this tour, you said? Okay. That is a good question. This might seem like a bit of a cheat answer, but I mean it 100% seriously. Do whatever works. And that's going to change, depending on the idea I have. Sometimes a story is birthed from a vision, sometimes from a concept, sometimes a specific source of interaction. Sometimes I have scenes in my head already and I just have to get them down in words. So I try not to limit myself to one process, because I feel like that's just going to get in the way of the creativity that's coming to me naturally. So my answer to that is just whatever works, whatever's needed at the time.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking they're typing.
Yep. They're doing the 45-degree turn.
I see, which makes sense. What was it for this tour, if you don't mind me asking?
For this tour, that depends, because this might sound a bit strange. Sometimes it's hard to pinpoint when this tour actually started. But do I start it from when he was a waiter? Do I go back to when he was a barrister? Because that would have been basically the same setting. And I did have another older idea when he was making coffees in a coffee shop. And the story, there was no grandpa there. The story was like a thief came and stole something from the shop or something. They had to do a stealth section in the city. Like, there's no point where I can say this is where the waiter became the waiter. So even though I'd really like to answer that, it just goes to show, I think, the organic evolution of ideas is just, they just indefinitely run into each other. I don't know if that makes any sense. Yeah, okay.
Sort of sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to answer that in a way that feels more helpful, but I can't think of a way to phrase it. I don't know. I don't know. Are you at the typing angle? You are.
Yep.
Still is insightful.
Yeah.
Okay, you're welcome. And I'm always happy to answer questions like that.
Gene time.
Sheen, you were saying something.
Oh, yes. Just wanted to restate what you said, in case not everybody caught it. Treijim just sort of informally announced something that we've been talking about for a while. We're open to looking for other performing tour guides. We currently are in no need of a world builder type tour guide. We are in need of someone that will do two things, mainly, perform and write tours. So
their own tours.
Officially,
yes.
Yeah, their own tours. Of course, we all help each other, but that is officially now public announced.
Yeah. And that is something that, I mean, by all means express interest now if you want to, but I'll be, into next year, I'll be leading that sort of recruitment process. That'll be something that I'll be pretty busy with, is preparing a performing replacement for me. So yeah, and I want to emphasize, when I first joined Sheen, I never thought I would be telling stories to groups of people. Ever. I never thought about voice acting. I liked stories. I liked making stuff. That's about it. And my first story, The Archaeologist, is very small, very humble. We do not expect new tour guides to make their own worlds. Just do whatever the heck works for you. we will talk about that as we go into the process. So please do not feel discouraged if you feel like, oh, I don't have a good storytelling voice, or I'm not confident enough, or whatever. It does not matter. You build that as you go. All you need is a passion for telling stories and making people feel things. That's all. But that process will be started into next year. And there'll definitely be announcements for that. Okay. I guess last call for any questions before we get into some closing words. Yes, Panda.
I remember long ago it was mentioned community tour. Like, I've heard
CWT?
was a thing. Yeah,
That comes after the Painter Tour.
Ah, okay.
Right. I think
That's
Gene's
post Painter
schedule
Tour.
for that right now is eventually TM.
On the ceiling.
Okay, alright.
Could
Yeah,
you repeat
and
the question? I actually didn't hear it. Sorry.
he was asking about when CWT is coming. Yeah.
Yeah, CWT. I heard that it existed or was mentioned.
It exists. That's
I don't know.
post Painter 2, right?
Yeah.
That's correct. And I will talk about that in a moment, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did someone have a question over here? Sorry, Panda, was that all?
No, that's it.
Okay. Someone over here have a question? No?
I guess it was kind of what I was thinking of earlier, is that normally, like throughout the story, you did an amazing job at describing like locations, and then especially the girl. But I don't remember if we ever got do we have a description of the main character?
You do not, and that's pretty common in our tours. Mostly because it allows for easier self-inserts. But there is no description of the waiter. If there are any artists here who want to take a jab, feel free, because I know what he looks like in my mind. I just don't want to push that onto anyone else.
You want to make sure that we all keep we all keep what we thought that he looks like.
Exactly. Although if they end up in the sanctuary, then you're gonna see the sprites either way. So we'll just see where that goes. Okay, Sheen, do you want to do your?
I think he would look like Ryan Gosling.
No, I'm
'cause
just
I identified
rambling.
him.
I'm sorry.
He's literally me.
Gosh. Sheen, do you want to do your closing words first, or do you want me to go? No, you go first. I need to rest my voice.
Sure. Okay. I'm dropping character, by the way. But yes, thank you, Treijim. You did.
You dropped your
very.
character.
Dropped it on the floor over there. Treijim, this was wonderful. Just again, I want to say thank you for sharing this with all of us. And even though it'll never be a story that we'll experience in a story tour form, I'm just grateful that we got to learn about it at all. So thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much, Treijim, for taking us on this journey.
Thank you.
It was
Yes,
truly
thank you.
wonderful.
This is awesome.
Thank you. Maybe not been here long, but
This was fun.
thanks for narrating.
You haven't been here long, but you sure have been
The
here.
microphone. Oh.
Yeah.
Despite it only being
VRTravellers, that was really nice. 2 months ago.
Oh wow.
October?
Poor thing.
Yeah. What?
I mean, so the reason I say that is because a lot of people who first join VR chat and then find us are like, oh, this stuff is amazing. And then they go out into VR chat looking for more. And they're just like, this place sucks. Except for VRTravellers. What's wrong with VR chat? Yeah, exactly. That's why I said,
Mood.
yeah.
I find it so amazing that he basically gave us an entire story. Like, he gave us already an entire story on the first draft, and
yeah,
like this with
Oh
so
man,
much detail and,
my
all
head
the
is
pictures and everything in my head, just
bursting
that
with
gave
stories at all times.
the world building. And
It is a
everything
wonder
was
it
just-
doesn't explode. That's what I do. That's what I'm passionate about.
Oh, again.
Again?
I just don't want to emphasize, like you said, this is the first draft, and you gave us all of
that's
this. Like this was already an
Yeah.
entire. Like this was
I'm glad you
this
like
was the
it.
first draft.
To
So-
me. Yeah, exactly. Like this felt like
Nowhere near a
full-on
tour.
tour, and it was great.
No, I was just reading out a tour that I cancelled.
I just got here.
That's my notes, expanded notes.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm not doing it again. Yeah.
No, we're
I know
actually
you
with
said
Canadian,
that you're gonna be
but-
doing the other different kind of tour guide stuff, but I'm a little worried. I'm not 100%. I'm not 100% convinced you won't just explode and never come back.
Who are you?
Are you sure? Just won't like blow up or something?
Are you gonna blow up?
I mean, if I do, then mourn for me. Okay, but that's a good point. I want to emphasize. I want to make clear to everyone. I am not leaving VRTravellers after this. Just in case anyone is under that impression, I am retiring from performing, not from being a tour guide. So just to be clear about what my roles will look like into next year, aside from the recruitment stuff, I will continue to run the Discord. Still technically under my name as far as Discord servers. Still doing the merch store. Still VR chat groups. That's all stuff that's under my umbrella. I'm still going to be the lore guy who helps with writing and revising behind the scenes stuff. I'm still doing the VR Explorers campaign, which is for the second rank of Patreon members. I'm going to run that through to its conclusion. After that, we'll just see. Depends what I have going on in life. I'm still going to be attending tours as a tour guide. In that respect, you can look at me as another Rendizo or Nick, just with more baggage, I guess. But I'll still be helping out with tours. My performing tours in Sheen's future tours will be non-existent. My performing tours in existing tours will be probably reduced. We'll just see how that goes. And that's it. That's what's changing.
Whenever you get a hankering.
What about your whole library thing? Be able to loan stuff?
I'm still doing
the
loans.
library.
Yep. That loans won't change. That's all the same.
So, question. For
Yes.
tours where it splits into two groups, will you be partaking in that, or will it now just return to?
That's probably going to change from tour to tour. A lot of them were actually designed so that Sheen could take either path. We just usually don't, because that way Sheen gets a break, because he doesn't write tours into his breaks into his tour because he's a woolly. But we yeah, no, I think I answered that question.
You still haven't forgiven me.
Painter 2 has a break. Don't worry.
Painter 2 has a break. I wouldn't let you not have a break. Painter 2 has a break, but it's 5 hours long.
Damn.
I don't know
Okay.
if you're being serious or not.
It's like a sniper.
I haven't even... Look, Pack. I know a little bit more... I know slightly more about it than you do.
Oh,
I don't know shit. I haven't seen the script, nothing. You do. To his breaks into his talk because he's a woolly.
The riddle, yeah,
And
that's all.
could... revising behind this.
You should make it longer than the appraiser. That'd be so dope.
Alright, good point.
Pack.
Please no.
We can stick some
That's all I care about.
No, you gotta do the
Make it
sprint.
24
You should make
hours
the
long.
tour so long that just split it up into 2 separate weekends. Painter 2 Part 1, Painter 2 Part 2.
What am I doing?
Yes, do
I do have a couple
20-minute
important
recap
announcements.
on the second weekend.
Yeah.
Announcements.
Here we go.
Is that you, Ren? Holy shit.
Ren? Oh, there it is, yeah.
You better watch yourself.
I'm completely not in character now. I apologize, I'm not as articulate when I'm not in character. Anyways, so Sheen isn't articulate to begin with. But anyways,
I was about to say that.
You're fine.
Hey, I'm not as particular when I'm character.
You're the chosen one.
Just to kind of build on the answer to Panda's question, if you recall, I actually did Treijim's Path in the pilot once, and it was very rough. I barely got through it, and I shortened the boss fight because I hadn't actually not practiced it, and so. But I will be doing the pilot in the future, and it will have me doing the path that Treijim did, so that way he doesn't have a performing role anymore. It'll be way more polished the next time that I do it. I promise. But we do have a few more announcements. So first and foremost, before anybody else leaves, this is very important. The NPC Open Project, I believe that's the name that I officially gave it in the announcement of the Discord. The NPC Open Project is where you submit an NPC that will appear in the world of the Painter 2. I'm bringing it up again now because the due date is the last day of December. I ask that if you do not know about this, you still have time. You are welcome. It's very easy. You don't even have to create your own sprite. You can just pull one from Spriter's resource, and you can make a character that says a single sentence. I've made many NPCs that appear in the Painter 2, and some of them only say a few words. And so if you want to know more about it, please scroll up in the events and news channel and you will see my post about it. And there you can click a link that will take you to a full description of what to do. As a reminder, if you've already submitted some, you are very welcome to submit up to 4. I see Treijim just posted a reminder link for you to see there in the Travelers chat. A shortcut. So please, if you have not submitted those, please do send those to me in a DM in Discord, and I will be sure that they get in the world. So yeah, the due date for the NPC Open Project, please keep that in mind. Another announcement, a lot of stuff on the Painter 2. I launched Dilf Quest, and if some of you don't know what that is, it's a dude I'd like to follow quest. It's an exercise streaming basically thing that I do. Is actually pretty successful and well received. However, I did pause it after doing it for a little over a month because... Did I do it for 2 months? Well, I paused it because it was just too hard to do and continue to work on the Painter 2. Nick and I are together on a voice call almost every day for hours, and I have to say thank you to my family that is currently sleeping for letting me be on a voice call with Nick every single day. But but this is what it requires to finish this monster project, and so I don't want this to, I don't want days to keep going on where I'm away from my family to work on this. I want, and Nick as well, his time, and of course his time as well, not just me. I want to finish this, and I want to do it right. I don't want it to be rushed. So I am going to keep Dilf Quest paused. It absolutely will come back. The CWT will absolutely be finished. I promise that. That's the community written tour. If you want to know more about that, you can ask me, and I will give you an explanation. But another big announcement as far as sacrifices to complete the Painter 2 is I have decided to pause all VRTravellers tours for possibly 2 months. Normally this is not out of place. We have paused VRTravellers in traditionally in December, and we do pause the Patreon. We don't want you to pay us when we're not performing. So I will be pausing the Patreon for at least a month, most likely more. But I'll make a solid statement on that once I talk more with my team.
Why do you want to send you money anyway?
Well, we do have a
Coffee.
We have a Ko-fi, Ko-fi, however you pronounce it. We do have that.
It's in the info.
It's in the info channel. You can find
at the bottom
a link for it there. It's the Ko-fi is it's a great way
and a merch store.
Yeah, it's a great way for people to support us when they don't want to do a subscription-based support that Patreon forces you to do. So you're completely welcome to do that. But yeah, so I am sorry to say, but it is the only way for me to finish the Painter 2 is if I pause VRTravellers until it is done. So that means there will be no more tours until the Painter 2 releases. I expect this to take 2 months, probably to be complete, and then we'll probably need another week for testing before we launch it. So means that we hope that everything will be paused, and so I do apologize. So that.
Don't dwell too much. It's okay.
We understand, man.
Yeah.
All good.
Don't dwell.
Yeah.
It's work.
Like,
I mean,
you're doing this work for free for us.
To fill the void during that time.
Apology rejected.
I already thought of something that could help fill the void during
No,
the Painter 2. Just
yeah.
Have a day where VRTravellers come in and see some
Plus,
skits.
it'll be the holidays. It'll be.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, use this time to learn about new things. To have other there's other bright spots in the world to focus on, but I assure you, when you turn back to look back at VRTravellers after this break, our bright spot will be shining the greatest it ever has. There are so many people. Yeah, there are so many people that are helping and supporting us. Just about all the money that goes that comes from our Patreon goes right back into the community. So we've got a lot of people. There's going to be a really big credits board in the world lobby of the Painter 2, a long list of names. So all I can say is that
sorry.
All I can say is that this bright spot is gonna get so bright it's gonna be a flashbang at this point if you make it any brighter.
You know, I was thinking of making it work and I didn't. Thank you for making it.
Yes. We don't Wired.
I've talked a lot about how great I think the Painter 2 is going to be for like a whole year, so I feel bad to keep doing it. One thing's for certain is that we've never tried so hard on anything. So I promise you it'll be worth the wait.
I want to make a quick mention as well. Speaking of commissions and stuff, a quick shout out to Wired, because I paid him to get all the maps that I was going to use for the basis for the waiter. Ended up not using them, so I feel bad about that. But you know, I'm thanking you anyway for your hard work. Yeah. I mean, I still paid him. The commission was done.
Did do work.
Yeah, I just didn't turn him into a tour. Yeah.
You just didn't waste it at all.
Definitely paid for his time. I just didn't use the maps. My apologies. Updating stuff in Unity is a pain in the butt. I don't have the patience for it, and the maps aren't really usable anyway, so maybe I'll give you screenshots one day, who knows. There's barely anything anyway. Just wanted to give Wyatt the recognition for doing that.
Wow, bravo.
Yeah. The
wonder what the settings were. They were.
One thing I would like to say is that we're not going to be completely silent during the months before the Painter 2 is released. I'll be going back into posting updates. I've been posting updates in the patron only channel of for people to see screenshots of the world and little tidbits of talking about what we did on a particular session. I want to start. I have stopped doing that, but I want to bring that back, especially since there's no tours taking up our time. And I'll see if we can put some stuff in the main VRTravellers channel as well for people that are not patrons, so you guys can see that we're working. We're definitely working. All of you giving your positive words, thank you for that. But please also direct it to Nick as well, because Nick is giving an equal time as I am to working on this project. Without him, the Painter 2 would not exist. Yes, Rendizo, wherever he is. Where is he? There he is.
He's right behind you. Rendizo's project. Oh boy.
Behind Vizo.
Oh, Nick is messaging me. There are well over 200 maps in the Painter 2. It's gotta be
good.
It's gotta be more than that. Are you sure it's just over 200?
Sheen, the waiter had 10, so take that.
Yeah.
The waiter literally had 10 maps.
Damn project. Like
200 is very good.
The first AAA VRT tour.
Triple
Hmm.
Play. We are a team of 10,000 people.
My mind. VRT has studios in several countries. I mean, technically that's true.
We are international,
I'll see you
technically.
tomorrow. No time tomorrow.
That's
That's
Mr. Worldwide.
the plan.
Yeah, we are. That's right.
There's got to be at least one alien in this group too, so we can say we're interplanetary.
VRTravellers related or not, just wait and see. If you're interested in my creations, like me as a creative, feel free to join my personal Discord. You can see it on my... I'm self-plugging now, fuck you. On my personal Discord bio, you can see the link to the... Takes you to my Land of Riga Discord. That's where I put, like, I put all of my out there, my world building projects get mentioned on there. It's a very quiet Discord, but I mean, that's just how it is. So you're welcome there. If you're interested.
I have somehow not found your Discord.
That's totally fine. I
The
do not
other
really
stuff.
talk about it. It should be. If you just click on my profile in Discord, and the one that says personal Discord. I see Zared. I see Silen. Hello, friends.
The way I found him back the day was
It's a great
through
job.
a pinned comment in VRTravellers or something.
Yeah, probably that. So
many rivals,
holy crap. I think that was everything I wanted to say. Thank you, everyone. And I also want to emphasize that VRTravellers, not just Sheen and Rendizo and Nick, but all of you guys, has helped to shape me as a person for the better. And I owe all of you for that.
Even me.
Oh. Wow, for the better. That's a surprise.
Yes,
You've been around me
I
so much.
guess. Yeah, of course.
Oh man, it's a cautionary tale at best.
I could say the same for you, Treijim.
Elman teaches patience.
Hot quick.
Yes.
That's a fun way of saying he's troublesome. Saying someone teaches patience.
You're like on a cheap infomercial where you see someone hurt themselves in a completely unrealistic way. That's you. Smiles, you were saying something?
Just a punch back.
I say the same for you too, Treijim. You've, and Sheen as well, shaped me for the better.
Yes.
Mm.
All of y'all have.
That's warm. Thank you.
VRTravellers. You have taught us
There's a reason
valuable
I've
lessons.
become a bartender assistant.
And I know we talk about VRTravellers being a bright spot, but the real bright spot is the friends we made along the way.
You guys have given
He
me something
said
to
the
look forward
line.
to on Saturdays to get me through the week.
I consider myself
Have me
lucky to be a
hoping for
part of
something
this
fun.
community.
Oh yeah, I'm glad to hear it. It's like church, but we are not a cult.
I've met a lot of very
At
good
some
friends
point,
through these events.
And some Saturdays
Yeah.
I could try running the bar. Even if there's no after party or tour. Like anyone wants to come by and do a random drink
That's a
bar.
goodness.
Despite my appearance
But yeah.
lacking
Someone
quite a bit
Nice two things to
in
do.
these events, is that basically coming here and being able to see all of this has been everything that I've wanted when it comes to storytelling.
For what? For the point?
Like I never.
And I love your questions, by the way.
I never
Yeah, you
imagined
deserve
that when I first started VR chat that I'll end up finding something like this.
Actually, here, there you go.
And that it was everything I wanted
Mm.
with, like, listening to stories like this. 'Cause I've always loved listening to stories like these, but I never imagined that I'd find myself here in such an amazing place with such an amazing community.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like 12, maybe it's 12.
I'm very glad to hear it.
And
So
And
all I
in
have to
truth-
say is thank you.
Oh. My apologies. Yeah.
Arts for all.
That means a lot. That means a lot.
It really does.
I've learned how to be a better person as a whole from talking with you guys, the tour guides, and the people behind them. And you've taught me how to be a lot more mature, taught me valuable life lessons, your tours,
Us?
the morals behind them.
Mature?
Yes, you.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I'm sure.
Imagine.
But
Imagine.
I do have a lot to attribute to all of you all. And I wouldn't be the same person I am today without you all. So thank you both.
This
and
dumbass being a
Pion
part
and
of my
Rendigo.
life is also because of VRT, and I'm very happy
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, I literally would not have met the loves of my life without you guys. So thank you.
Oh, the real loves of your life are the friends you met. Never mind.
See.
I mean, technically, yes.
See. Yeah. And I know it's. I know people keep saying like directing to me and Sheen. It's easy to because we're kind of the face of it. But like honestly, without Ren and now Nick, like Sheen and I would have given up a long time ago. Like we are bricks in a wall. We are not. Yeah, we're not doing this alone, not by a long shot.
Yeah.
I remember nights where no one was
I'm
here.
the one
but
running this show.
Ren and I running a
Ren's the
tour.
mastermind.
And
This is
there's been nights where
my VRT.
you know, Treijim, we've never been alone, have we? We've always had
the
a
assistant.
On a tour?
Yeah, someone always with us. Maybe there was a one or two times.
It's been a while, probably. Yeah. Probably. Yeah. Yeah, imagine. What would VRTravellers be without the rendezvous? Even though it has its flaws. Like, what the hell would we have done? We used to meet in the painter world at the start of the tour. That's what we used to do.
Yeah,
And then
without
Ren was
the
like, "Can do it in the
rendezvous.
world," and we're like, "What?"
Yeah, Nick, when's your tour?
Do you remember the day that we surprised everybody with the rendezvous? Do you remember that? We went to the Painter One World first, and we like
that was great.
dropped the portal as
That
a
was a big
surprise.
group.
Yeah.
Because
I remember
Roblox and stuff
whenever
were
we
with
did
us
that,
at the time. It was like
everyone
60.
got in there, and then they were like, "Hey, why can't I see your avatars? What's wrong with
They
your
were like,
life?"
"Oh, there's a bar. There's a
Everyone's a
library."
silhouette. And you're like, fuck.
Like, oh, God, just use your imagination.
Yeah, that's right. The rendezvous 2 will have that fixed, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Exactly.
I cannot wait.
Rondo 2? What?
Yeah, when's Rondo 2?
Look forward to
Another
it. Look
great
forward
question.
to it. Rendezvous. That's so 2020.
So
When's season 3?
I tell you what,
Bigger
I'll
bar,
give you
bigger library,
a tour of
bathrooms.
the Rondo 2 whenever it's ready.
Oh, my new library is
There's
beautiful.
beverage options. If not, I'll bring soup.
What about the old man room?
That is a great.
We have toilets, yeah.
And thank you,
We have
Treijim.
toilets.
I worked hard on that
You
library.
do.
The library is beautiful.
Yeah.
Is there
Take your time, Ren.
It is very beautiful.
The bar. The bar is beautiful
At the moment, the
too, especially the
difficulty
chair
is,
that descends you into
trying to
hell
update
immediately at the press of a button.
Because we're having problems with that.
Okay,
I'm gonna make the bar more beautiful.
Xenogears maps been hard to manage.
Yeah,
Maybe. Probably.
Have you managed to get back at the rendezvous at all?
No.
No, that's alright. We'll try back. We'll try it next year. Give it a crack. If it ends up proving too difficult, we'll just say screw it and just focus on the rendezvous instead. Because it's not worth having too much
Will it
trouble.
replace it directly, or will it be a new world?
Rendezvous better have PBR materials
I don't know.
and shine and run it at 140 frames per second.
Get out.
Nah, I don't know about all that. But
What's the better way to do it? Replace the.
essentially, what I was going to do is just replace the world. So if you already got it favorited, it'll be the same world ID, but it's just like an update. And then I'll upload
Yeah.
a second world that's the old rendezvous in case you ever want to go back and look at it.
I appreciate that.
The rendezvous redundant or something.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
We're gonna want to see
Thank you,
the
Treijim.
keypad in the dadgum kitchen. The keypad in the
Thank you,
kitchen.
Panda.
Yeah.
If
Oh,
it
yeah,
makes
What
you
about
feel
it?
better.
Get nut salads. We better get nut
I have
salads
colors
as
now.
well. I want some
If
salads.
it makes you feel better, the keypad in the kitchen
We need a bedroom.
will be in the rendezvous as well.
Yes. So we can bash our heads against that one too.
I actually had
Yeah.
two
Oh my God,
keypads in there just for you.
Rendezvous is just one big keypad.
We got a spotlight.
The real rendezvous is the worlds we visited along the way.
You have to figure out the code to get into the prep room every time.
Crouch and desktop.
What the hell? C or Z?
I literally just remembered.
Z
I
is
couldn't remember
prone.
the whole night until I said it out loud, and then I remembered C for crouch. Wait, there's something here?
Z for Z
Y'all
for
are
prone.
wonderful.
To get lower. Oh, there you go. Oh, that's why I can see everyone, because you've got a big light. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
You know Sheen's avatar has a light.
You're a spotlight.
Oh yeah, it
Sheen,
does.
turn your light on.
Shall we
There
head
is
outside?
also option to turn on the lights.
Oh, where the
Yeah.
hell is that?
We don't need to after party tonight, do we? We can just linger here until everyone goes.
Yeah, we just hang out here.
Yeah, good.
This
'Cause
is
none
the
of us are in
after party.
character. The real after party would never mind.
Yeah. I'm not in character tonight.
I have a belated message
We
from
can
Dusty.
totally tell the difference. Yeah.
The belated message is thank you for the tour. and
Tour, not
they
tour.
Loved, yeah. They loved everything about the waiter. So
Aw.
you did good.
Very, very kind. Thank you.
Mhm.
I just had to share it.
Julia,
Couldn't let it sit.
Yeah.
And we
I'm
appreciate
proud of you for that
and
one.
that dadgum description of the
really
food.
appreciate it.
What's that?
I am.
I'm proud of you. Probably took a lot of
For
nerve,
sharing
you
it
know,
or
to
for
tell
writing?
everyone you're unfinished.
I need to.
Sure.
I need to turn
It
your
was
volume up.
actually,
I can't hear you.
I was
Sorry.
super nervous at the start.
Can't hear anybody.
I was like, oh, what are they going to say? They're going to be like, oh, we can't interact with it. We can't make choices. What? There's not enough information here.
Good question. I will get back to you with
Okay, there we go.
No, it was good.
It was great.
Thank you. You hear me now?
Oh man.
Yes, now I can.
Okay.
Hit me like
The ending?
ending to the lecturer.
Don't leave.
The lecturer.
We're
not Oh. done.
Those are kind of weird to say they're my
Yeah.
favorites.
Hey, that bittersweet is
It felt
Yeah,
like
we're-
a
part of
normal
life,
tour,
man.
but
I'm
without
still
a
working
tour,
every
which
day.
shows how well you can write.
yeah. And you know what?
Without a
If there
world,
comes a
I mean,
true without a world, if there comes a time where I get more time, I can just do story readings. Like, who knows?
That'd be nice.
I'm not planning on performing again, but I can just read stories now and then. Yeah,
What?
just in case.
I'm telling you. Thank you.
You're not the
Thank
first
you,
person to
and
ask me
thank
to read
you,
that.
and thank you.
Not even the
I
second.
bet not.
You're all amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're amazing. Oh, something.
Oh, that
Snakes and him is a little bit like it's kind of like Wonderwall if you think about it.
Thanks for coming.
Good night. Thank you for having me.
Wonderwall? Oh, so. Bye bye.
Because it's the thing that people request, you know? When there's a song request, it's Wonderwall. When there's a book request, it's
True.
Snakes and him.
Goodbye, Ether.
Is a tour requested?
You get hugs too.
Ah, thank you, Ether. Nice.
I wasn't even looking at the screen, but okay.
Now for you too.
Thank you.
You know, Elman, blinking is client side.
It is
Okay.
actually. Blinking's random.
So technically you blinked.
I did not blink.
Well, I didn't blink.
But you can't make me blink.
I didn't blink either, but you can't see my eyes.
Thank you for everything, Treijim, and all the stories you heard.
Thank you, Smiles. I won't stop writing stories. Go on. I wouldn't be able to do my job.
We should write a really meta tour called The Tour Guide, and it's the story of Sheen's life leading up to this point.
Oh, wow.
He was shot and killed.
Good night, Smiles.
Bye, Smiles.
I mean, it feels meta enough just saying the word tour or guide in a tour, which I did for the waiter. That feels already too.
Anyway, I gotta
Good
transfer
night.
Be a tour where
projects
someone
now.
gets in VR.
Yeah, no worries.
I bought an
Take care,
external
Nick.
SSD, gotta put all the Uni projects on it, so...
Oh, and
Oh yeah.
wait, where's Alizu? Thank you, Alizu, for helping me find the world last minute. Where is he?
on my main drive now, and there's like 15 gigs free, so
Oh, you're right there.
my space
I'm
back.
blind. Look, Alizu, look. Who here thinks this world sucks and didn't suit what we did? No one cares. See? No one cares.
I mean, this world's kind of okay.
Mine's only mysterious, so...
It does the job.
I've seen
People were not in this
PBR
world. When I was
shaders.
telling that story, people were in Afraid, whatever the town was called. Efraina, I already forgot. People were in Pistachio when I was telling the story.
I gotta set up with, file,
Did you? Oh no.
things that you can
I should leave. I should get going.
That way it doesn't have to rebuild or import my textures.
I said I'd give you feedback on the story. I don't have the... Good night, Ren. Thanks for coming.
Take care again.
I don't... Oh, I can't fulfill the curse. Good night, HD. If that was good. The...
We're stopping here.
Are you welcome? Thanks for coming. Thank you for coming. I thought we agreed is that you'd give me the backstory and I'll give feedback on it, which...